The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Kosei Fujita, listening, keeping strong style.
Yo, this is Rich Latta from One Nation Radio. This is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network. We present to you the Ace of Podcasts, keeping it strong style. Let's go. It's the Ace of Podcasts, keeping it strong style. Covering New Japan, they ready to hold it down. Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh. Come and hit a job out and bury all the frauds. From the Tokyo Dome over to the G1. Social Suplex is the network where we can get it done. I'ma chill and let them have it, cause this is just an intro. Keeping the strong style, 6 stars from the get-go, boy. Yeah, from Tampa Bay to the Tokyo Dome, this is Keeping It Strong Style with your hosts, Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Joshua Smith. And thank you for listening.
Welcome to Keeping It Strong Style, the Ace of Podcasts on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Jeremy Donovan here with the young boy Josh Smith and Chris Samsa. On today's show, we'll review the best of the Super Junior 33 finals, preview Dominion, and cover all its news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Please support our show by subscribing and following the Social Suplex Podcast Network and keeping the strong style on the podcast app of your choice and leaving a rating and review. You also get all the network's podcasts and newsletter over at socialsuplex.com. If you enjoy this podcast, please consider making a one-time or monthly donation by visiting socialsuplex.com/donate and click on the donate button under the Keeping a Strong Style logo. And we are streaming live right now on patreon.com/KI Strong Style. If you want to watch our show live or listen without ads, you can sign up at patreon.com/KI Strong Style. Josh, Chris, how you guys doing?
Let me crack one open for the working man.
Whoa.
And we've got Kieran Ichiban, which that word might set my dog off because it's what we close the show with. Yeah, so that they had that at the store, and I was like, oh, let me grab one of these.
I'm drinking a coffee. Is what I'm drinking. I'm drinking a coffee.
And I am
6:30 Central Time, 6:40 Central Time PM, and I'm having a coffee. That's the life I live.
I got me a Celsius right here.
Celsius, yeah, there you go.
Good job, boys. Keeping it healthy.
The dads are caffeining up.
We get it. Yeah. Our night doesn't end with this podcast, I don't think.
Right. This is just the beginning of my night.
Mine's probably a little smoother than yours, but
yeah,
most of the time, not always a win. My toddler is very much a toddler today.
Speaking of smooth, the refreshing taste of a Kieran Ichiban as it goes.
Oh, man. Well, guys, we got some interesting stuff to talk about this week. We got the best of Super Junior finals. We got Dominion. I think some of it we were excited to talk about it. Some of it, I think, not so much excited to talk about it. But before we jump into that, we did have a question here from Boston Crab Rangoon saying, question for Chris. What is the weirdest stat or fact about NJPW you have ever discovered while doing research?
Oh, man. There have been some weird ones. It's hard. That's hard because most of the time they're sort of transient. They're here and they're gone because I do, this single event thing. I think some of the weirdest stuff that I've unearthed, when Tanahashi was on his way to his 100th G1 victory during what was that, last year's G1? It was interesting that I can pretty much take credit for unearthing that he was on his way to that he was probably going to break that. Similarly, during this year's Best of Super Juniors, being able to sort of highlight that Taguchi was about to become the winningest Best of Super Junior competitor of all time. So it's stuff like that I generally find surprising that I'm the one that finds it and highlights it. But then I sort of think, like, I guess because I exist, I'm the guy that would look at that. So people just leave it to me. And there's always goofy stuff. There was stuff with Hiromu Takahashi in Osaka where he just never won singles matches in Osaka. that was one of those that popped up when it was like really far along in the streak, and I was just like, oh, that's a weird one, right? So and otherwise, like I sort of, there are certain shows and certain moments, you know, and certain cards where like I just have time or a willingness to like dig in and find like go like 10 slices down into the statistics to find like that this person has something specific about this particular event or this particular place. You know, some of that was like the Hiromu stuff with like Power Struggle or something in Osaka. I think that's what it was. But yeah, really, it's usually the scale stuff, the stuff that I can really, that's the stuff that's sort of unique to me because I have all the information. And when I can find like who's got the most wins in Korakuen, or who's got the most wins in the Tokyo Dome and stuff like that, like that's usually the stuff that I find that I'm the most prideful about. You know, I think I found a good one when I post it to Twitter now, because I try to avoid Twitter mostly.
Same.
So when I'm like, oh, this is funny or interesting, or it plants a seed of doubt, I'll post it to Twitter. And obviously I'll do more of that, you know, throughout the G1 and stuff like that. But that's when, you know, so if you scroll back through my Twitter timeline, anything that I post that I find to be interesting, then those are the ones that I think are unique.
Nice. I gotta wonder.
Good shit.
If, you know, somehow intentional some of that is, like the whole Hiromu thing, like was that purposely planned?
Yeah, I don't know.
For him to always lose in Osaka, or was it just kind of a happenstance, like 5 times in, or like, oh, this is kind of a thing now? Well,
there's been stuff, you know, it's been whispered that like because I highlighted something like different streaks and stuff, they'll end them. And the, you know, if it's sort of if it's like an unimportant match, or if it's a you know, there was a title that is generally not regarded as a high-end title in New Japan. And there was a sort of a record that was coming up that I don't think anyone had noticed. And all of a sudden the title switched, right? So like, you know, I think it's that type of stuff that I find to be interesting, that like the work that I do, somehow I don't talk to a lot of people, but somehow it makes its way to the boys. And, you know, if the boys start talking, then, you know, the unintentional accolades get taken away.
Oh,
so, and, you know, I hate to do that to the boys, but I'm just,
well, you
I'm
know,
just
like that's
doing
how
what I do.
That's how the streak started.
Undertaker
Which
streak.
streak? Oh, yeah.
My computer's messing up. Yeah, like that wasn't intentional. Like he just kept winning, and then eventually, like I think it was after the 9th one, they realized going into 10, they're like, "Oh, this guy cheated. Maybe we could make that a story." And then like it became a thing. It wasn't intentional,
Right?
Yeah.
I imagine that's what a lot of anything streak related, I feel like it never starts that way. But then all of a sudden you look at something and you're like, oh, this dude always wins at X event, or always loses at X event, or has a great record in, you know, Ryogoku or whatever. Like everyone always pays attention to the Tokyo Dome. Like I think that stuff's really well documented. I mean, Chris Charlton wrote a book on it, right? Like they've got that stuff. I can go a little deeper with length of times and length of matches and stuff like that pretty easily, but I would imagine most of the like miscellaneous streaks are besides maybe the Okada G1 win streak, or what was it? The streak where he hadn't lost a match in X amount of matches through 2018 and 19. I feel like that was maybe at least planned at the beginning of 19. Like when they went into that tournament, they're like, well, what's the Okada story? Because he's, you know, maybe he wasn't going to be featured in that tournament. And the story ended up being really interesting because he had a reason to care whether he won every single match at the early stage of the tournament. So I do think they do fall into a lot of it, but that's sports, that's wrestling, right? Like no one cares that you have a perfect game in baseball in the 3rd inning, but you know, as you get to the 6th and 7th, you start to talk about it. And I think that's sort of how this stuff happens with wrestling too. You know, and if you ever want to know the longest match in any sort of scenario, you probably just have to look at 2021, because that was the year of the girthy match.
Oh man, good stuff there. Well, let's jump into Best of the Super Junior. So last week we left off right before the final Korakuen nights, and so not going to really run through the results in the interest of time, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about the final, and we want to talk about Dominion. So just going to kind of jump to what happened after the Korakuen nights, which led into the semifinals. So we ended the Korakuen nights A block, Master Wato winning the A block, 6-3, 12 points. Kosei Fujita coming in as the runner-up, also a 12-point, 6-3. Poor Francesco Akira, he lost a tiebreaker, so he was 6-3, 12 points, but he was out. Then you had Jun Kasai, Robbie X, Teton, Nick Wayne, all 5-4, 10 points. Taguchi, 4-5 with 8 points. Valiente Jr., 3-6 with 6 points. And then Young Lion, Daiki Nagai ending the tournament 0-9, 0 points. Then over in the B block, we had our good friend Robbie Eagles winning the block, 6-3 with 12 points. Yo coming in as the runner-up, also 6-3 with 12. A similar situation with Desperado with Akira, 6-3, 12 points, but lost the tiebreaker. Sho also 6-3, and Ishimori all 6-3, 12 points, but again, tiebreakers got them out of there. Daisuke Sasaki, Heio, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Jacob Austin Young, and Kushida all ending the block 3-6 with 6 points, which led us into night 13, which was the semifinal night. So,
and I will say this, even though, we don't have time to review those shows, given the length of the matches on both nights and that they were like full block nights, they were pretty easy watching compared to a lot of the rest of the tournament. Even like the first few nights, there was like definitely some like cool notable stuff. I felt like the work was a little bit better those last few nights. There were some upsets. We saw Wato with the Crimson Mask. That was cool.
Yeah.
Kosei Fujita, looked like he was trying to basically solidify his MVP status of the tournament. So, I mean, there was good stuff, but there wasn't anything that like would blow you away, but they're easy watching shows with some very good work.
Yeah.
I need to take a moment to criticize the block booking leading into the final night, because the final night's the final block night, right? It's all at Korakuen. That's a great jumping in point if you've like lost track of the tournament, right? It should be, and because it'll give you some interest, it'll give you what's going on, it'll catch you up, right? Especially in this scenario where that's one singular event. And I thought it was really cool when I saw the card that came out, that they were doing just all the B block and then all the A block, sort of mimicking what we would traditionally see on two separate nights, so that each block sort of gets its story arc. And then what they did is they took the B block and they put all the 10-pointers against all the 6-pointers. And then all the 10-pointers won.
Yep.
So whatever the standings were going in were the standings coming out. And that's boring. It's just boring.
Yeah.
And then A block, which looked better, right? Looked more interesting. You advance Fujita in a match with Daiki Nagai with no 8 minutes, right? With no real drama there, right? I guess Nagai was great in this tournament. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he had a wonderful, showing, but you advance Fujita at 12, and he sort of had the head start because he was the first guy in A block to go that had really had stakes. Or he had some good tiebreakers. He had a good chance to get through, and then you sort of had to wait until the last match, and then you figure out that sort of nothing else that happened on the card really ended up mattering all that much. And in the last match, it was basically like, if Wato wins, he goes through. If he doesn't, Akira goes through, and Nick Wayne doesn't have a way through.
Right.
And so like, why?
The math wasn't mathing.
The math, well, the math, it was just like, it was just lazy, boring, like really atypical booking of New Japan, right? Normally you look at these tours and these tournaments and you say like, okay, some of the stuff in the middle is just points balancing so that we have a dramatic last couple of matches with some important players in the block, right? And really unfortunately this year and in this year's Best of Super Juniors tournament, like in neither block was that really the case. And they didn't build any drama throughout that last block night. And I think that's I'm blaming the fact that they go off and have semifinals. So they looked at this night as less important. But I think that, the block structure, the group structure in these tournaments is unique and important. And I think that, obviously we did have a lot of situations where who you beat throughout the tour mattered, but usually that starts to get highlighted on the last night as you go. Right. And the broadcasters do a good job. And this is no shade on Walker and Chris, because they're there to do that, but they didn't have anything to work with. That was interesting or dramatic, except when, Chris basically, as Nick Wayne's entering for the main event match, the last block match of the Super Junior 33 tournament, he's talking about how Nick Wayne doesn't have a chance to go through. He can only play spoiler. And like, that's not it, unless he had some sort of story going with Master Wato at any point where that kind of mattered on a emotional level. That was not a good story. So I think this tournament was booked really poorly. And I think the last night highlighted that. And that's not to say that there weren't good matches. Yeah. Right. Those are totally different things. But the booking of this tournament and even, beyond this last night, I'm hypercritical of it. I'm very disappointed in New Japan to take sort of the lazy way out, especially with the talent that was in this tour.
Yeah, and the upsets I was referring to weren't on that whatever night that was. I was referring to the 6-2 night where, Yo beating Despy in the main event. That was a big deal. Even like Jun Kasai beating Wato, even though Jun Kasai didn't get through, like that played a pretty big role in how things were like going to pan out for the rest of the math of the block. But one thing I did like on that final block night, like you said, was how and it is funny, the A block, which everyone acknowledges was the better block overall, they're the ones that headline over the B block. But I liked how the final match, which involved Robbie Eagles, and then he won, and then they had that moment where like, they're tabulating, they go to the announcer, and then they make the announcement, and then the crowd's like, because Robbie realizes he's finally made it through into a finals or, a semifinals. And I thought that was a cool moment.
Yeah, that was cool. And I agree with Chris on a lot of what he said there. We've kind of been saying that the whole review of this tour, and I think that's going to be the overall theme of the tour, and whatever we talk about later tonight is, the booking versus the actual wrestling. And obviously last week when we were previewing this, we didn't have the card order because, that's determined by kind of the final points going into the last night. And, we were kind of speculating on, what the card order would be, what would make the most sense with what the points were. And, we were predicting Akira going
and
through.
And the names.
Yeah. And we were predicting Akira going through, and it seemed just very weird, to advance Fujita middle of the card, like that's done with, and then the rest of it kind of not really mattering. And then you get to the semifinal, and you're like, oh, maybe Akira has a chance because he can get to 12, but then he gets to 12 and doesn't matter. And then it's Wato and Nick Wayne, where, like you mentioned, Chris, no story. Nick Wayne has no chance. It just, I don't know what they were doing with this tournament.
They were trying us.
They were snoozing.
They're trying our patience, is what they were doing, trying to see if we're really loyal.
And I don't. You guys probably. I love Best of Super Juniors.
So do I.
It is one of my favorite times of year. I love Best of Super Juniors tournament.
Yeah, I'm usually so hyped for this tour and this tournament, and honestly, I think we've said it already, but this is the worst one we've reviewed in the almost 10 years of doing this podcast.
Yeah, and we all lived through the Hiromu run. That was like LOL. It was like LOL Okada. It was basically LOL Hiromu for the whole tournament. But
we went through pandemic single block December Super Juniors.
December with Tag League. Yes, and we also probably said it was better than the Tag League stuff. And it probably was, let's be honest. Tag League will probably be really good this year. But yeah, I hear you.
With showing the wrench.
Showing the wrench. Oh. That was just last
and
year,
then
wasn't it?
then Hiromu and Yo having the longest match in the history of the fucking tournament.
Oh, I know. Hey,
in front of nobody.
That was one for me. It's 38 minutes. It was like 40 minutes long. Like, why? That was, I mean, Hiromu was just pumping average match length there. Oh, man. That'll never get beaten. They will never do a 40-minute Super Junior final.
They don't need to.
They'll never. They will never. God, I hope they don't. I don't know. There could be a situation where they do.
Is.
Hey,
yo.
yo.
Bong. All right. Well, moving on to night 13. So this was the semi-final night in GMC Gunma, attendance of 1,102. And man, this crowd needed some coffee and Celsius. And you always hear about the mythical quiet Japanese crowd, and there's always this misconception that all Japanese crowds are quiet. Well, this was the crowd that people talk about because they were snoozing on this night. We did have the heavyweights returning on the tour here, so I'll run through the results, then we'll get to semifinals.
Whoa, we're not going to talk Matsumoto and Valiente Jr. teaming for the first time ever?
Do you have some hot takes on that?
No.
All right, well, they defeated Nakahara in Tiger Mask. Then we had Hartley Jackson and Oiwa defeating Yoshida and Uemura. Jun Kasai and Nick Wayne teaming up to defeat Gato and Teton. Desby and Heo defeating Daisuke Sasaki and Dick Togo. Then we had the House of Torture, Narita, Sho, Kanemaru, and Yujiro defeating Aaron Wolf, Kushida, Taguchi, and Yano. Then we had a IWGP Heavyweight preview here with Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J defeating Daiki Nagai, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji, which brought us to two semi-final matches. So first, we had the A2 runner-up, the Japanese young punk Kosei Fujita defeating his tag partner, the winner of the B block, the Sniper of the Skies, Robbie Eagles, in 1842. Any thoughts on this semi-final?
I thought the work was great.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of what I was going to say. Like, I feel like if you were paying attention, you probably knew the result of this going in, right? It didn't feel very, it would have been really surprising to see Robbie Eagles go through in this particular matchup. I would have loved it. Yeah. Robbie Eagles is one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. He might be my favorite wrestler in the world.
There was a sliver of chance from they made such a big story of him finally getting through. Vegeta was already in it last year. Could they do something cool and have him go through?
Do they build or can they build for later, right? Yeah. Because then it becomes Fujita can't get over his senpai. It could have been you could chase your tail into something that you think might happen, but truthfully, in your heart of heart, if you're placing bets and putting your money down on Polymarket or wherever people vote or bet on pro wrestling, Japanese pro wrestling from America, you sort of knew Fujita had to win this. And that's I never loved that, but I don't necessarily hate it because I love that we got this match and I thought the work was great. I understood why it wasn't the main event though, because it just didn't feel as weighty.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in the crowd reaction.
I mean, the whole night.
They definitely could have, told that story that you were alluding to there, Chris, but they had to save that for Yo,
Save it all for Yo. And saving everything for Yo.
You only live once.
I did like the idea of seeing guys that are in the same, faction and tag team partners, face off. And they'd been talking a lot about trying to gun for, an all TMDK final. Obviously that didn't come to fruition, but they ended up, here. And like you said, it's like the senpai Kohai relationship and everything there. The work was really fantastic. I thought this was one of the better matches of the tournament. Robbie taking that pinfall loss and then him laying there in tears is kind of the endearing image that I remember coming out of that, more so than feeling like Fujita's on his way.
Yeah, big emotional moment there, and gotta wonder. I know that it might not seem like something's building, but I mean, they always have it in the back pocket now. Like if they ever wanted to build something or potentially have Robbie turn or just kind of make a more personal story between them, that kind of moment was there. And you know, if Robbie gets to this point again, I think you can definitely play back on this and how bad he wants it.
Sometimes we see guys, you know, go deep in these tournaments, and it's like their one time they ever get that far. Other times you see them like get to the semifinals or the playoffs, and it's like a true elevation, and they're like upper echelon. Obviously, Robbie's held the title before. Obviously, he's a player in the division, but generally speaking, the fan base doesn't count on him as being like one of the absolute top pushed commodities in that junior division. So I think it will be interesting to see if like coming out of this, him getting to the finals is like a one-off, or if he's going to kind of continue to stay in that stratosphere moving forward or not.
Yeah. And we had a question here from Lagoto saying, now that Eagles has lost 2 and been surpassed by Fujita, does that mean we will never see him win the junior title again?
Maybe. You know, I'd like to see him have a run with the junior title outside of the pandemic. I still think he's on top of his game. I think he's a great wrestler. I think he could bring it all over the world and do some cool stuff with it. Here's what I'll say. The junior division doesn't ever move on from anyone. So for as long as he's wrestling in the junior division, there will always be a chance that he can ascend back up there. Especially if they run a story, he leaves TMDK, he comes after Fujita. Fujita's the champion, blah 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 blah. Right? There's a lot of opportunity to do stuff like that there. So I wouldn't rule it out, especially just because the junior division is so stagnant that they sort of just, you know, pick a name out of a hat and go with a guy for a little while. Besides, obviously, Doki right now. I mean, like this is a pretty long reign, and you know, you can't rule out going back to something that with a guy that, you know, I think is really well respected.
Yes, it's the junior division, and I basically echo the same things you said there, Chris. I mean, if Bushi held the title, then anybody can win this belt.
Yeah, and this is a division full of second and third chances, as we'll talk about as we get to the finals. So, yeah,
second, third, seventh.
yeah. As long as you're in that junior division, it's not as strict as the heavyweight division. There's always a chance. Well, let's talk about the other semifinals. So we had Yo defeating Master Wato in 16 minutes and 43 seconds, and I wasn't really excited about this semifinal because honestly, I really didn't want to see either guy go through. But we ended up having Yo go through, which would set up a rematch from the finals of last year. Thoughts on this match and Yo going through?
It was hard to get into. It never really. I felt like it never got to where I wanted it to get. It just like, and I don't think the crowd was particularly behind Wato. It felt like they were trying to like make Wato Mania a thing again. Just throughout the course of the tour, he had a big long streak. He won a bunch of matches towards the tail end. He sort of had that momentum piece. He main evented the prior night. So I feel like they were trying to like build that up again, like they did in, what was that, 2023? And it didn't take. So that left this match feeling the way it felt, which was it didn't quite have the fuse lit.
Yeah, I thought Yo and Wato have both had some pretty impressive performances during this tournament. I wouldn't call either of them like MVP status or anything like that. Like they were wildly inconsistent, but there were several times where they were in main events and they delivered. And in this match, for whatever reason, it just didn't really click. I did notice, obviously Yo was using and alluding to a lot of like former Chaos and Hantai, stars of the past. And in this match, he was really like channeling a lot of the Hiroyoshi Tenzan, who was his, his mentor, but also he was also kind of a mentor to Wato. So I guess there's a little bit of a through line there. But the way that he kept going for the Anaconda Vice, it reminded me a lot of the Tanahashi G1 finals where he lost to Tenzan, or even the Tenzan match against Jun Akiyama. But obviously, like, this didn't have the heat or the crowd connection that those matches had. And I do wonder if, modern audiences even really know or remember what he was, hearkening back to as far as like Tenzan. It's a pretty modern audience. I don't think they would even get that stuff really. But the pace of the match was fairly slow. It just didn't really kick into that next high gear. And dare I say, this might be one of the worst, when you're just talking about work rate, this might have been one of the worst main events of the entire tour, honestly. And I'm not trying to shit on either guy, because I thought they both had their moments in the tournament, but for semifinals, this really wasn't it.
Yeah, there was just, that kind of sense of urgency missing. And again, we talked about the kind of the sleepy crowd, and they tried to get into it, but there was just a whole lack of crowd energy. Like, if this match was in Korakuen, like, that Korakuen crowd would have definitely elevated this match. But yeah, with the quiet crowd and kind of just the average Joe match, this just didn't really seem like a great way to end the night and a great way to kind of build to the finals of this tournament.
Yeah, but the Sweet Boys didn't really deal too much with that quiet crowdness. You know what I mean? They were able to kind of overcome it and still have a really receptive audience and good match.
Yeah, I still think the crowd I would have liked them to react a little bit more to what the Sweet Boys were doing, but yeah, definitely the work that they were doing definitely beat the fact that the crowd wasn't as responsive. So yeah, so that leads us into the final night. So we have Yo and Fujita going in. So we had night 14 last night of the tours, was Sunday, June 7th from Ota City General Gymnasium. A reported attendance of 3,969 compared to last year's 3,044. So pretty big house here for this final. Show opened up. We had Goto, Yoshihashi, and Matsumoto defeating Asuda, Nakahara, and Tiger Mask. Francesco Akira, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young defeating El Phantasmo, Jado, and Shota Umino. So ELP and Jado back on the tour, and they did do a little angle here post-match where UE beat down ELP, and Jake Lee does the face break shot on a chair to El Phantasmo in the corner, which is all setting up for the now announced no disqualification match at Dominion between ELP and Jake Lee.
A lot of history between those two.
I have a strange feeling there's going to be a lot of history with those two. You know how these things go.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy?
Oh,
that's what's coming next.
I miss. No, I don't. I'm not even going to say it out loud. I don't miss it.
So
you were gonna say KOPW, weren't you?
Yeah. I don't. It was the perfect place for Tangaloa.
Hey, he might be back,
Oh. Jeremy, don't let me start on him. I'm already spicy tonight.
Don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
Yeah.
Oh man. So after that, we had Wato, Deguchi, Daisuke Sasaki, Nick Wayne, and Valiente Jr. defeating Daiki Nagai, Gato, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Teton. Then we had Despi and Heyo defeating Sho and Kanemaru, and we had the epic conclusion of will Heyo get his stuffed leopard or whatever the name of it back, and you had Hantai coming out, and they saved the cat, and they made Sho and Dick Togo, sign a contract saying they would not, go after the leopard or whatever, and yeah. This,
sometimes when I'm listening to the flagship and they talk about people that really, really enjoy NXT or like some of the like goofier shit from like WWE, and Joe will get so inflammatory, and he's like, if you like this, I don't want to know you. I don't want to talk to you. You know, all this. He's like, how can you be a functioning human being? He's like, you know, I'm gonna go, you know, turn on the DVR for this this NXT, blah blah blah. He's like, these people don't have brain cells, bro. That's kind of how I feel. I don't mean to be like as hardcore, but like, this is fucking not for me. Like this, I hated it so much, and it was like. It was the through line for this guy's entire tournament. It sucked.
That's honestly probably one of the biggest stories they pushed throughout the whole tournament. Will this guy get his stuffed cat back?
Someone had to replace the Hiromu stuffed cats, I guess.
But at least Hiromu was having bangers.
I know, especially then. Especially when the cats were really in play. He was really having bangers, so it didn't matter. I'm
Ricky
sure
Dozan was spinning in his grave.
I think Hyo has all the potential in the world too. It's really unfortunate that this is where he got used.
Yeah, and the weird thing is, like, I don't watch Dragon Gate, but from what I understand, this is not really a big like part of the presentation there. It's pretty minor. And it's something that they hammed up big time for this tournament, but it's really just an ancillary part of his presentation there. It's not like a huge focus.
Right.
Yeah. I don't get why they would choose to focus in on that when the guy is super talented, super athletic. Like, had that been toned down and, you know, more emphasis on what he can actually do, like he might have had a better tournament and maybe might have gotten over even more. But yeah, and then he comes back the next year and he works some junior tag tournaments and then he leaves the company, and then, you know, everyone's wondering, is he signing with New Japan?
Well, and then everyone says he's signed, but then everyone says he's not. That's the story.
Yeah.
Oh, and some people are like, oh, he just doesn't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
That is what I'm hearing about the other person right now, but that's, you know, neither here, not my story.
But yeah,
I'm also probably, it's also could be wrong.
Did I just like spoil someone's story?
No, I might have. No, I have good friends in the Dragon Gate world. We chat, we talk about where people are going, what's going on, especially right now. There's some things that are happening. I think maybe.
Nice.
People think there might be some things that happening. That's all I've got. That is not my story and not my source, but
all right, Shun Skywalker, the next IWGP.
Well, that's what I say. Shun Skywalker has announced that he's leaving Dragon Gate, and there's a lot of sort of assumptions happening of where he would go. That would make sense. So that's sort of a side.
He's going to sign
story.
a triple contract, signing with New Japan.
Well, he's going to do a PowerPoint.
And Noah.
he's gonna do a PowerPoint to tell you why. Did you guys catch that?
No.
What
was that?
Takeshi, I think I heard about that.
Takeshi did a PowerPoint I think at the end of one of the most recent DDT shows about why he wants to be signed to 3 different companies.
Interesting.
It's posted. It's like on Twitter, I think. So
Was he doing that as an allusion to the time when Tanahashi did the PowerPoint in DDT?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably. You would think, right? You would think that that's the connection there.
Do you guys remember that when that happened?
I do. Yeah. Well, and they called it back when they were building up the Windy City Riot match last year.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Funny
I should compare. Maybe I'll compare.
Speaking of which, I haven't caught the DDT Part 2 show today, but can't wait to fire that up tomorrow.
You know, so I didn't even put that in the rundown.
I know.
Oh, man. Well, following this match, we had...
Sorry. I was like, what is he talking about? And I was going to act like I could play it off, but then I've triggered what it is, what you're talking about.
So we had Kushida, Taichi, and Uemura defeating Harley Jackson, Robbie Eagles, and Oiwa. Preview for the tag match at Dominion. Then we had Aaron Wolf, Jun Kasai, and Toru Yano defeating Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. So final preview there for Wolf versus Narita. And the just muted Wolf Looks like he's eating some chanko.
Oh, he is well fed. He is well fed. The dojo meals are good. The dojo meals are good.
That man enjoyed his tour off.
I'm not, no judgment.
Do we know?
If he can go, he can go. But man, he looked like a beefy boy.
This is a little off topic, but you mentioned, the meals in the dojo. Do we know that this guy even lives in the dojo?
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't live in the dojo.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Baba, when Inoki was living in the dojo back in JWA, like, Baba was already a baseball star. So when they brought him over as a baseball star, he didn't have to live in the fucking dojo. He just rolled in whenever he wanted and just worked out.
No, there's not a chance.
Like, that's what Aaron Wolf's doing.
Yeah, there's no chance he's living in the dojo. Maybe he's spending a lot of time there, but I don't think he's posted up on a cot in the dojo as a gold medalist for the country.
Yeah. Josh, you were frozen there for a second. Looks like you're back. But yeah, I doubt that he's living there, spending much time there. But moving on, we had
if I'm cutting you guys off, I'm having weird like internet stuff.
No worries. So next up we had Knockout Brothers and Tsuji defeating Callum Newman, Great Okan, and Zane J. Final preview there for the IWGP Heavyweight Title match. And then we get to the Best of Super Junior 33 final, the rematch from last year. And we had Direct Drive Yo defeating the Japanese young punk Kosei Fujita in 28 minutes and 1 second to capture his first Super Junior win.
Third time's the charm.
Yep. What do this is fun. Here's a fun trivia question. What do Joan Jett, Elvis Presley, the Fugees, Cyndi Lauper, Sinead O'Connor, Alien Ant Farm, and Yo have in common?
No idea.
Their careers
does it have to do it.
Oop. What do you got?
I was just gonna make a poop joke because he likes poop. I don't know.
No, it's not that. Their career's biggest hit came via borrowing someone else's work.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Yo, he promised to make chaos reign just like he did last year, and once again came out with a Okada-esque ring jacket, and that was all throughout the match. Him doing Rainmakers, GTRs, the break from Yano, the Bomaye.
I cannot argue that the crowd loved this. I mean, that crowd was hot.
Yeah.
Hot crowd. The opposite. Wherever Ursula put all the voices during the Gunma show, she gave them all back for the Ota show. So
where does she wrestle?
Under the sea.
Under the sea. Well done. That was good. Big pop. Hot crowd. I know I'm not completely on an island with thinking that this was it wasn't what I wanted to see out of this final and out of Yo. I liked the chaos throwbacks when Yo did them last year during the Best of Super Juniors finals. I thought that was quaint. I thought it was because it was current. Chaos had just broken up a month or two before, and this unit that had just broken up or disbanded and folded into Hantai, right? Then this guy tried to use all the moves from this unit that had recently, fizzled and lost. That was a good story. That was a good story. And Yo was like, I'm going to try to use all my all the chaos moves as chaos, gets put to rest. And then no one has thought about chaos. I mean, people didn't think about chaos a whole lot for the years leading up to chaos disbanding, but no one has thought about chaos in a year since Yo did this stuff last year. I venture to guess very few people even remembered that Yo was in chaos until he started to do this stuff. Because Yo wasn't exactly the most important member of chaos, for that matter. He may not have even been the most important junior in chaos. So, and then to sort of borrow everyone else's positive heat, right? I don't know, what do you pops, right? He borrowed everyone else's big move pops for his biggest moment of his career. This man loses every time he tries to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, famously. I mean, he holds the record for the most losses without ever winning the title. And so this tournament win is the biggest positive moment of his career as a singles wrestler, especially. And Yo is a good wrestler. Like he's a good wrestler. He's an interesting character. I know he's polarizing, but I'm mostly neutral about his general, existence. But this match annoyed me to no end because it was just so tropey and obvious that he was borrowing, history and member berries and all this stuff to get himself over, which, I'm tired of nostalgia wrestling. Like do your thing and do it awesome. Right. And like, go back and watch that 2023 final with Titan and Wato. It was incredible. And they didn't have to borrow a bunch of stuff from other people. They just went out and did their thing and they got the crowd behind them. And now here we are with Yo finally winning the Best of Super Juniors tournament, which I guess is a big deal. It could have been a big deal. And I'm just like annoyed by how he did it. Because then we get a chaos photo op at the end. Like, why? Like, it's like if Bullet Club showed up for one night only, and I don't doubt that they might do that at some point. But like, yeah, most of those guys are gone. But like, I think it was really lame that's how he did it. I don't mind that he won. I don't really care about that. Honestly, I think he's, I think it's fine that he, accomplished, a Super Juniors, win. But how the match played out was just so disingenuous, I guess is probably the right word. It's just like, I like unique performances, and I don't consider this to have been a unique performance.
Yeah, especially coming off of last year. Like, essentially, like, majority of the match is almost like a copy and paste from last year. He's doing all the same things, doing all the chaos moves, and, like, watching, I was, like, getting annoyed. I'm like, all right, here we go. Like, same thing from last year. It's move for move. Like, can we do something new or creative? And I'm like, well, the only new creative thing that's going to happen is that he's probably going to win. Like, why else would they do it again if he wasn't going to win? And so, yeah, I was annoyed watching the match, but then the crowd, like, kept getting into it.
Loved it. Loved it.
They were living and dying with Yo, and, like, in a vacuum, like, yeah, this was a great match. If you ignore the horrible booking of the tournament, the lackluster booking of Yo through his whole career, the, ignoring the fact that we're supposed to be pushing all the young guys, like, if you ignore all the outside elements and just focus in, if somebody just randomly watch this match, be like, wow, super hot crowd. This guy, Yo, like he's doing all these great moves. Vegeta's, hamming it up and, getting some heat, and in a vacuum, just bell to bell. Yeah, it's great. But then you watch this freaking long tour and nobody's really getting over or being pushed. And then you get to the finals. It's the same thing from last year. And my thing with Yo is, I think fundamentally, Yo is a very good wrestler. And we've said this time and time again. Anybody that's come up that dojo, they are fundamentally sound pro wrestlers. And I think at times he's been great. my problem with Yo and him winning is like he's never really been pushed as a top guy. He's had multiple failed championships, and in between those, he's usually a tag guy, or he's kind of goofing off, doing whatever with Kontai / chaos guys. Like there's never been a dedicated push for him. Even if you want to compare to like Hiroki Goto, where it's like, yeah, well, he failed multiple times. Well, at least with Goto, there were obviously dedicated, efforts to try and get him over and push him. They wanted Goto to be a main eventer, and all the times that he, failed to get over until he finally won it last year or 2 years ago. And with Yo, like they've never really given Yo that big push where they've been trying to make him the guy and it just doesn't take. Like he's just kind of been, that filler guy, like the challenger of the month guy or the junior tag guy. We're gonna stick him with Wato, who's a Roppongi 3K guy, and I don't know, it just feels just so uninspired when you look at the tag division and we're seeing what happens when you push a hot, young, fresh act like Knockout Brothers. We're seeing Yota Tsuji and Callum Newman building heat and getting over in the heavyweight division, and it's like there's that youth movement that's bubbling. And I know he's only 37, but it kind of feels like we're past him. He feels like a relic from the previous era. Like there were so many guys in here that you could have chosen to move forward with, even if you wanted Vegeta to lose. There were so many other people that you could have put him in there with to lose and do something new, fresh, and creative with this division.
Yeah, I agree with all of your guys' criticisms. I think they're very valid. At the end of the day, like you said, Jeremy, in a vacuum, the match was received so well. For me, I'm a vibes guy. Anytime an audience reacts and responds well, that's going to elevate the moment for me. I loved the entrances, the fact that they actually, obviously it's not like Wrestle Kingdom production level, but they actually had lights and a real rig. And both guys came out and had, pretty for Super Juniors. I can't remember any Super Juniors that had like a good entrance setup at all ever. So I thought that was pretty unique and interesting. And then the crowd was just, regardless of how we personally feel, and I think that everything we're saying is valid. And I don't think you guys are going to wind up being proven wrong in the long term. That's not the case at all. Because Yo's gonna Yo. We all know what Yo's gonna fucking wind up doing when it's all said and done. But this audience on this night, they wanted this guy to win. They were living and breathing and dying for him to win. And that also might be technically an indictment on the creative and the booking, because it's like, what does that say about how you have handled your young future ace in Fujita? The fact that the crowd wants Yo to beat him. But with that being said, I thought the action in the ring was really, really good. Yes, Yo did basically spam a lot of moves from all the forerunners that came before him in Chaos and some Hantai guys. And that is a little bit cheap. Like it's a cheap code, but the audience loved it. I think back and I remember when Kenny Omega won the G1 and he did something similar, and like what you talked about, Chris, how like the year prior Yo did this and it sort of made sense. When Kenny did it in the G1, it also made sense for his ascension. But the putting whether it makes sense or not aside, just comparing apples to apples, they both did it. Kenny did it and Yo did it. The difference is that Kenny doesn't need that night in and night out to go out there and have a great match. Yo never has a great match. Listen, guys, I know you guys keep saying we know he's a good wrestler. He's not a good wrestler. I don't think good. I'm serious.
Anyone who's listened to this show knows how you feel about Yo.
No, I think the numbers back this. Good implies that he goes out there and has good matches pretty consistently, and he doesn't. He is what I would call a serviceable guy, someone who's not going to fuck up in the ring. It's got good timing.
Well, that's what I meant when I said good. Like he's fundamentally sound.
So in a different chat, I called him a replacement level junior, right? Which is a phrase that has been used in other places, and so I'm stealing a little bit of that. But I'm a baseball guy too, right? So wins above replacement is a baseball metric, and if you're a zero, you're just like you're a major leaguer, you're fine. Like you're a guy that like you can plug in and like no one's gonna really judge that you're in the lineup, but you're probably not gonna win any games. If you're negative, obviously you're negative. If you're wildly positive, you're Shohei Ohtani, right? So like Yo he's a zero WAR wrestler. He's a zero WAR junior. You put him in, you know that you're going to get a functional pro wrestling match with in various styles for that matter. And to his credit, right? But that's good is I think good is a fine word for that. But yeah, that's how I see Yo.
Because I think Cody Rhodes is a good wrestler, and I think Yo's nowhere near as good as Cody Rhodes. Like to me, the 3-star savior, he's not the 3-star savior. He very regularly has worse matches than. Like he has bad matches pretty regularly. In fact, I said earlier on the show that he had his moments during the tournament, and then I went and looked at his tournament, and I was like, "Wait, that was Watto. Only Watto was having good matches. Like this dude never has good tournament matches until he gets to a finals, and then he turns it on, and he can. But anytime he's in a title match, for some reason, he can't replicate that same magic. You had said a few weeks back, Jeremy, why did this guy change his music and why did he like change his gear? That should have been a tip off to us that they might potentially be pushing him, but we can't even fathom the idea that he would be the one that they would be pushing through. The positive that does come out of it, the crowd was so amped for it. And the fact that he has failed in the title run, so like title chase so many times, there's absolutely no fucking way he can lose to Doki at this point. And if you're not going to do a super duper satisfying, like Desperado Doki story or whatever, and you're not going to push like the young upcoming ace and really like solidify Fujita, I think it's a fine enough story to get the belt off of Doki. And maybe that is a real elevation and maybe the crowd will really get behind him. But this screamed to me like one night special circumstance once he get better at the chase than it is being the champion. I don't count on him as being somebody that can deliver night in and night out because we've been watching him for a decade and he's proven in over the decade that he's on the same level as Bushi. Him and Bushi are interchangeable in terms of like what they can do and how good they are. In fact, I'd probably take Bushi over Yo a lot of the time. So I didn't love this, but the match itself, I thought the match itself was one of the best matches of the tournament, strictly based on the action. I thought Fujita had a lot to do with that as well. Just like the way that he just came off so fucking confident and cocky and was beating this dude's ass and kept almost tapping him out and like gave you the impression like been there, done that. I'm skating my way to the fucking finals.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out for him. The last thing I will say though is like we all have criticisms about the creative here. We have criticisms about the tournament. This feels like the culmination of like 5 years or so of bad booking in the junior division. There have been plenty of times where we've looked at the junior tag team division and been like, oh, they're hot right now. They're having great matches. But like we sat through so many Hiromu and Doki middling title runs. The only thing that's been done unique and exciting in the past half of a decade was Doki's one run that ended, in tragedy and is never going to be replicated. Everything else has been so perplexing and boring. And now we're here at this point and it's like they're going to elevate Yo, I guess. I don't fucking get it. Whatever. Like,
yeah. You know what's like kind of a big flashing sign for me? Like something's wrong here. They had the fan voting on the outstanding performance, fighting spirit, and the technical skill award. Were any of the two guys in the finals win any of those fan votes? No. You had Jun Kasai winning outstanding performance. You had Daiki Nagai winning fighting spirit, and Robbie X with the technical skill award. The people
I can't argue with any of those.
Right. And so the people that the fans are voting for that got the most over in this tournament, nowhere to be seen in the finals.
I mean, the truth of the matter is the guy who consistently had the most technically great matches night in and night out, it was Kosei Fujita.
Mm-hmm.
But the reactions from the audience, the connection to the crowd did not relay that is how they were receiving him. And he's never had this problem in the past. He's always been a guy that has endeared himself and done well. Something wasn't connecting. And to me, it just feels like time and time again, they don't go with the right guys at the right time.
Right.
Like you said, Jeremy, like if they wanted to go with Yo, they should have done it so many years ago. They waited.
They should have done it in 21.
Too long. Yeah.
They should have done it in 21. Just fire the rocket. I think people expect really good pro wrestling matches from Kosei Fujita now. Right. So like, it's not surprising.
And that's not enough.
So it's not surprising. It's not interesting anymore. And that's because the junior division, like, this is what we do in the junior division. We take a horse, kill it, and just never stop beating it. And that's the junior division. I said it in, I think it was your Discord. It might've been a different one. I said, the bread's been stale for a long time, but I think we're finally seeing mold on the bread, right? Like it is, the junior division is so, it's such an afterthought that I can't even fathom why. I can't even fathom why. I don't know if it's booked by someone different. This tournament felt like just a means to get to. Great, you're doing a terrible job explaining yourself. We just chat. I have thoughts. It's just like they do. It's like they're trying to do things in eras instead of years, even. Right? You've got the Hiromu era of the Super Junior tournament. You've got the Desperado era of the title. You've got this Fujita and Yo thing that they went back to twice. The only unique, Best of Super Juniors final they did was 23 with Wato and Titan. And everything else has been some sort of extension of the previous year, back to 2019. When they dropped in Shingo and Will Ospreay, who everyone knew were going to be heavyweights, and be in the G1, but no shade on that. Like, use what you've got when you can justify it. But, since then, you've had a bunch of rehashes in one way or another, right? Maybe they're not rematch finals or rematch semis or whatever, but it all feels like just an extension of the previous year, and not in a way that's like endearing or fun, in a way that's like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah. And think about this. We didn't even mention this. I think we alluded to it, but it's like, yeah, this is a rematch of the finals from the year prior. It's the only time in the history of this tournament that they've done the same finals back to back. And the prevailing thought wasn't, oh, that match, because the match the year prior was better. It was a great final.
Oh, that was a great match.
And they're giving us the same great match a year later, and no one's thinking like, oh shit, they're running it back. Let's see what happens. It's like, why? The one word you have to ask yourself is, why is this happening? Like, it's so fucking confusing.
Yeah. And it's opposite of what you should have done with the booking. You should have had Yo win last year.
Right.
And then and Fujita, the young guy who's got to
prove himself,
earn his stripes.
Yep.
Have him chase and then win this year for the big moment.
And you probably would have had the crowd probably would have given Fujita the reaction that Yo got.
Exactly. And then Yo did the same thing he did last year and lost. And somehow won against the same guy. He didn't change his game
at all. Yeah.
He didn't change his game at all. He changed his gear.
The one thing with that too is I agree with you guys. The one thing that could have potentially fixed what they've done is if Fujita had turned around and actually successfully won the IWGP title last year. So the fact that he won the tournament and then didn't win the title and then goes to the finals again and then loses to the same guy, it just throws even more cold water on him. And it's like, we're repeating trends now. Fujita's a guy that I know he's still young, but we've seen what this company has done with Wato and Yo specifically. And I'm sure there's countless others, but guys that are they're domestic. They came through the dojo system. They should be big stars. They should be winning early titles. They get some accolades, but they always falter at the 1 yard line. How many times do we have to see that fucking story? Hiromu didn't have to do this. Hiromu showed up day one, won the title, and carried it for 6 months and beat everybody's ass, and then was a star for a decade. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I look at these blocks. There's so many people I would have chosen to put through instead of Yo. Like Francesco Akira was right there. Jun Kasai was right there. Robbie X was right there. Teton was right there. You're telling me Teton and Fujita wouldn't have had a great final?
Teton had a great tournament.
Yeah. You know what I loved about Teton in this tournament was how he was so bold. He wore that jacket that told the people he was wrestling what they were going to do. It said job. He was telling everybody that they were going to job.
Teton wrestles with such urgency that it feels like everything matters.
Yeah. I would have loved for Teton to get in the finals again.
And you know, he's a big deal in CMLL now too.
Where did he land in the GWE?
Oh man,
he probably didn't even make the cut on that stupid list.
I saw the Volador was like 600 or something like that. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I have discussed that list far too much, and I am so triggered by you bringing it up on this podcast.
Oh, I don't like that you said trigger. That's too low. This is.
I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot you're in Florida. Can't use words like that.
We only talk about V triggers.
I'm in Chicago. You know, we talk about stuff.
All right. Well, we got lots of questions from this matchup.
Fuck the questions. Let's move on.
So Les Commission 7252 says, no more yo, hate, or slander.
Sorry, bud.
What?
Sorry.
As much as you don't care and have no interest in yo, how does it feel having to leave all your hopes in the hands of our favorite weirdo and new BOSJ winner to take the title away from Doki?
Oh no, this makes me feel hopeless. Not hopes. I feel hopeless because there's no good outcome. I do think that
it's a good outcome. It's better. I think it's a better outcome.
We just saw him challenge for the title. He just challenged for the title.
Yeah.
I'm aware. I mean, the match, I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about like if Yo wins, at least then we don't have more Doki. We don't have more Doki title challenges until he probably inevitably wins it back.
Hey, listen, if Yo can go out there and consistently perform at this level, let's just say he's been holding back all these years, and if he gets a title run and he starts racking up really great match after defense, I'll shut my mouth. I'll give this guy all the flowers in the world, but he don't deserve it because he's sucked for a decade. You
know who's taking the title off of Yo?
Show.
It's Show. Inevitably it's Show. I mean, there's no you can't book it differently, right? I mean, like it's too obvious.
Yeah.
You can't take that away.
Think about like that timeline, bro. Like I heard the other day that they've been like tracking what goes on with CERN and like the Mandela effect and all these split timelines, and somehow we fucking ended up in the one with House of Torture, then Yo, and then more House of Torture. Like, why couldn't we end up in the cool one where Robbie X is taking on like, you know, Robbie Eagles, for, White Boy Summer?
White Boy Summer.
It's funny. Speaking of show, friend of the show, James Boyd from One Nation Radio, he was looking at the cage match. He's like, Show has been in House of Torture for like 5-6 years and still has a better cage match than Yo.
Well, Show had a real like ascension for a little while there where he looked like he was going to be one of the best.
I think he's just talking about since he's been in House of Torture.
Oh,
not prior.
Oh, well, I can't speak to that. I can't. I don't want to compare that. I just don't want to. I don't. Yeah. Those aren't things I want to look at.
And if you look at Yo's matches, he only has great matches with like a couple names. It's like Hiromu a bunch of times, Desperado a bunch of times, Fujita twice now, and that's like basically it. Like this is not a guy who can go out there and like work Daikin a guy and carry him to a great match. He's never done that in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, his top 10 on cage match, right? So cage match ratings, you know, your mileage may vary. it's Fujita, Hiromu twice, Fujita, Hiromu again, El Desperado twice, Will Ospreay. Does it even count?
Oh yeah, Will gave him a great match.
Yeah, and then Robbie Eagles. And then from there, it's and even by then you're in the three and a half range, right? So you're sort of in the like, gentleman's space. But I mean, he still only has 18 matches above a 7 on Cage Match. So if you're talking stars, 3.5, right? So that's not a great for a dude who's had hundreds of matches. That's not a great start.
Yeah, he's rough.
Dude, his page goes back 12. He's had not hundreds, thousands. He's had 1,115 match.
Oh, I was thinking singles. I was thinking singles,
man.
But
he sucks.
Well, he left. He's immediately wrestling in DDT,
and I'm bearing the guy coming off the back of what I thought was a great fight, probably one of the better finals in a while, or at least up there. But like, it's just like, damn, bro, this tournament tried in a year where everything has been so refreshing and we've been pushing young guys and literally almost all year, we've had almost nothing but positives to say about the creative direction. This tournament has been a major low point. And I can't remember when we could ever say that about Best of the Super Junior.
Yeah, this was a black eye on this year. Just a horrible book tournament. Next question, he says, how quickly will the junior division be back to its original exciting state that it used to be?
That's hard to say. I mean, I think the talent's there, especially the talent that comes in, right?
Right.
But they lean on some of these guys too much, and it's not like interesting, fun. Like, honestly, you could fire up Taiji Ishimori and I'd be more excited about it than some of the stuff that's happening right now, because at least it's like interesting. Like Taiji Ishimori is a fantastic wrestler when it comes down to it. And like, he hasn't really had a baby face run at the top as a junior, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, that feels like a move to make if you need to just like make a move. But you've also just got all these guys. This used to be a division where like, Dragon Lee held the title for a little while, even though he wasn't around a lot. Will Ospreay, even though you knew he was going to move up, and like they used to just do stuff. It was like the just try stuff title. It's just like, I don't know, try it, see what this guy does, and then like bounce it back to Hiromu, or do a transitional title reign. And like I don't see a transitional title reign anywhere in the title history in the last couple of years. And those are sometimes really fun because they give you moments. They give you something to hope for someone. Like the hope exists for Robbie Eagles to win the junior title again because he did it once. And so then you sort of think he's one of those guys that could do it again. Obviously super pandemic era, and I sort of mentally attach that to the Shingo IWGP run, where it's like, but those things have worked. They're establishing for these guys, and they're just not doing much of that right now with the junior division.
Yeah, I don't really see it getting back to an exciting level with the way they're booking, the guys are getting behind, and kind of the story that are being told in that division. Again, like Josh mentioned earlier, I think it's the junior tag team division. It's the one part of the division that's kind of been carrying this thing, that's helped this division limp along. But you take that away, it's like there's been a lot of questionable decisions in the last several years, and you look at a lot what the bookings surrounded about. It's a lot of funny haha, especially now with Yo and all the stuff in this tournament with Heyo and House of Torture and Show and Dick Togo. Like, there's so much funny haha, not serious booking and wrestling that happens in this division. It's going to be very hard for it to get back to an exciting, meaningful level until they choose to book it that way.
Yeah.
His next question is Walker Stewart leaning in too much on the comedy stuff on commentary, Not saying you can't have fun and make jokes, but he leaned into the Heyo and Leopard storyline with how the torture a bit too much, and then him and Chris going back and forth about the Leopard on the final night.
I thought him and Chris were very funny on the final night because it was nice that Walker had someone to bounce around with on that particular bit. I don't know. I mean, I don't love ha-has on commentary generally. Like, I like, especially Walker. He's like so good. He's so good. And he's so good at being like the straight man, right? That I think it would be a shame to see him like fall into being a funny guy, or like Gino, right? Like Gino's there to be funny. But I didn't find it to be egregious. It was sort of what they had to work with in those particular matches. It was the story to tell there, because there wasn't a super interesting, compelling kind of sporty story to tell, especially in the case of Hyo.
Yeah, especially when he's by himself. Like, I don't blame him. Like, he's just trying to make it entertain himself. Like, I don't blame him on the solo nights for like going all in and just trying to have some fun with this thing.
Just have something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a lot of it. You just needed something to talk about, especially again down the card in that type of situation. I took no issue with it. And I'm sort of a no fun wrestling guy, and even I didn't find that part of that particular story to be particularly egregious.
I had to step away. I was getting too heated about Yo. No, I'm just playing.
No, who hasn't? Heated in one way or another. I mean, there are definitely people that are heated with Yo.
I'm not looking at the run sheet, but I'm assuming we're talking about the cat and the Walker question.
Yeah,
I saw that one. Here's the thing with that is like, you can criticize Walker for, putting the shit over, but like, you have to remember, especially on a lot of those nights where he's solo and he has no one else to play off of, that's his job. When you start doing the Jim Ross shit and you start burying, what is on the screen and kind of calling to attention how ridiculous it is, then you are not putting the product over. Maybe that's shilly, but that is your job. It's the same reason, like
literally the job. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If we were hired by New Japan, right, tomorrow, and we signed a contract, we wouldn't be able to say half the shit that we say on this show anymore, because the way you represent the company is a totally different thing. You can't just go into business for yourself. There'd be a difference if there was like you brought up Gino, if there's like a Don Callis Gino character who can speak truth to power, but is playing it up as a heel. And then you have the Gorilla Monsoon who chastises them and puts it over. Totally different dynamic. But at the end of the day, you still kind of have to put it over because that's your job.
Don Callis is the master of criticizing whoever's in the ring or whatever wrestling is actually happening by praising them.
Yeah.
He is the best at it, where you're like, wait, did he just, was that a compliment? Like, it's like I would hate to be his partner or wife, because I'd be like, wait, what? Do I look good or not? Like, do you like this shade of lipstick or what? Like, he's so good at that. And it has always been, is still one of the best in the business at that particular thing. And yeah, that's a different thing, right? That's a character on commentary.
Yeah.
And I think it has a place for sure.
I think the bigger issue here is not the fact that Walker was putting this over, it was the fact that it was happening at all in the first place.
Yeah. How many times have we talked to friends of ours who are in the business and we've been like, yeah, what the fuck was that shit they had you doing out there? And every time they go, I'm not the booker.
Yeah.
I'm just the talent. I just go out there and do what they tell me to do. That's the job.
Yeah. Next question from MJ. He says, I will preface this saying I enjoyed the final and thought the crowd was great, but the whole tournament was pointless. No one came out hotter or elevated except maybe Nagai. 2 weeks of grinding only to have to watch a rerun of last year's final, and now we're on the precipice of Yo Junior title reign. Was there any logic here, or was this pure nihilist terrorism booking?
He is wrong. Because Yo is more over coming out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's the purpose of it. And so how much mileage that's going to get, we've already talked about our criticisms of it. We pretty much agree, but it does come down to like, do you like Yo or not? If you like Yo, maybe you're happy about this.
Have you talked to Karen?
You know.
Someone should message Karen. She's got to be. I mean, I assume she enjoyed it.
Like, I know Karen's still watching New Japan. I know she covers it over there, but like, I wonder, I don't think it's like her passion the way, like, say, like when she watches Stardom and shit like that, like she's impassioned. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that the Show and Yo thing has sunsetted. Like, it's sort of like, I remember how much I loved these guys when they were with Rocky.
Wasn't that a great time? Yeah.
The silver and the gold. It was so great. I loved them.
I feel that way about bands. I'm like, oh man, I really loved that band. Oh, they're still doing it, huh? Cool. Like, good. New record. Bro, I'll listen to it. Sure.
It might be shameful to say this right now, but like when I was a kid, the first record or the first CD I ever asked for when I was allowed to get a CD, I wanted a Kid Rock CD so fucking bad. I fucking loved Kid Rock, but now you can't be like, yeah, Kid Rock fucking rocked.
That's like, is that like Show? That's sort of like Show, right? Where you're like, I love Show, and then it's like, oh, House of Torture. Oh, House of Torture Show. No, I gotta go. I can't listen to Ba with the Ba anymore.
But here's the problem: is I confused Kid Rock with Limp Bizkit because I didn't know the difference. I was dumb. So I asked for a Limp Bizkit CD, but I meant Kid Rock, so I wanted Ba with the Ba, and then they brought me the one where like, yeah, it fucking sucked. That there's 2 hits on there, and the rest of the CD, I tried to listen through it many times as a kid. As a kid, I couldn't get into it. It fucking sucked.
I unironically love Limp Bizkit. Just it's all nostalgia. I once played a prestigious venue in Chicago on Halloween, dressed as Fred Durst, and we did a full set of Limp Bizkit cover songs, and we were basically a pop band. So the irony was not lost on our fan base. And I screamed my ass off as Fred Durst. And my guitar player, I was also a guitar player, but I did not play guitar that night. The guitar player in the band, the other guitar player in the band was full body paint like Wes Borland. Like we went all in. I mean, full body paint. The video's out there if you want to look it up. It's actually very impressive. And since that moment, which was really like before it was cool to like Limp Bizkit again, because now like as millennials we all know like it's cool to like Limp Bizkit again. I was early to that because I really enjoyed making that, doing that super heavy set. It was a good time. So I
love Limp Bizkit. I just think that they're a hits band. They're not
for sure.
Their CDs suck.
How about this? We did songs and we had to repeat one to fill a 35 minutes. So like that's where I'm at with Limp Bizkit.
Y'all want to hear Rolling again?
I mean, that was it. It was like, hot crowd. You guys, you want us to play it back? We'll play it back. I think we did My Generation twice.
I don't remember what's Jimmy Eat World's big song.
The middle, Bleed American. One of the two.
I had a friend who went to a Jimmy Eats World concert and they did the middle 3 times.
That's surprising. They're on their 25th, maybe 20th anniversary tour of Bleed American. They're just doing that album. Jimmy World's still a very active band in my world. They're very good.
And Josh, I'm sure you were confused by the bands because of Undertaker's theme switch. He had the American Badass, and then he had the quick switch to Rollin'. So I'm sure you were thrown off by that.
Oh man, American Badass was totally Kid Rock, wasn't it? Rollin's so good. I taught my daughter to the Rollin'. We did the roll. We were doing it. I mean, it was like 3 days ago. It was so. It's honestly like it's the perfect like heavy rock song for a toddler because it's just like teaching them how to move. It's the cutest thing. I'll see if I can get a video. I'll send it to you guys. I'm not putting that on the internet, but yeah, it's a real thing. All right.
Next question
Well,
from MJ. He says, is Doki back to being our guy again?
Nope.
Here's my question for that. I have a counter question. When is someone gonna leave House of Torture?
Bro, that
No one ever
Like
has.
no one leaves.
Well, no. Jack Perry left.
Jack Perry left. Yeah, okay. I knew what you were gonna say. But no one really leaves House of Torture. But like, why doesn't anyone ever leave House of Torture?
Evil left.
You only leave when you leave. Like, you leave. That's the only way out is death. Like, what is up with that? And could Doki be the guy to be like, oh man,
Nope.
I got my title run. I'm out of here. No, I'm sure not. I'm sure that's not the case.
There's a blood pact. You know, they pull the blade out. They cut the hand. That they share the blood.
There's only one way that Doki's gonna do that is if he brings Perostamal back to New Japan. You know,
Bringing all the dirt scummy.
If they send him back to Mexico.
oh my god, I don't even know who Daisuke Suzuki's group is, but that one match, and then they're like, yeah, we're gonna do a feud between TOA and House of Torture. I'm like, that sounds so shitty. I'm not gonna watch any of that.
Oh man. Next question from Death Triangle 720. With Vegeta's loss, do you think we get any character changes to his character?
You would hope.
Maybe. I feel like TMDK is starting to lean heel. Like lean more heel. They're sort of tweeners.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're dipping their toe further that direction right now. So maybe that could, and I think Fujita is the perfect guy to like be a part of that. He's got that streak in him. I could see it. You could see it in his face.
Yeah, and I feel like you look at this match, like he knew that he was not the cheer for guy here. He leaned into it and hammed it up and played it up. And I think we've seen Zach be heel before and how Zach can do that. And we've seen Robbie's been heel before. So I think them going with the full-on heel group would be, very fresh and would be great for all of their characters. And I think you could really have Robbie Fujita lead into that and hopefully build a babyface to like work with him and chase him.
And
I'm just not a fan.
Extend Hartley Jackson's career even further.
I'm just not a fan of trying to consider a guy a heel that makes his entrance with the Japanese Nitro girls. You know? Like that shit was
that was
you know?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was also like I don't think I had put it together that I was like, I've seen this type of thing before. And now I'm like, oh, was that Kimberly out there? That's Sky.
Not only that, but like, you know, everyone's criticizing well, I don't know if actually I'm just saying everybody, but it's just us. I've talked to no one else. I don't know what else. I don't know what anyone is saying about any of these matches, but you know, there's the criticism about fucking Yo stealing the Bombay. The more egregious stealing from Nakamura was the entrance that that Fujita did. You know, he stole the Wrestle Kingdom entrance with the strippers and everyone dancing. Much better tribute to Nakamura. Also, I want to know this. That was a question I had is like, okay, so Yo's doing some teasing of Nakamura. Is Tony Khan going to be clued in about the teasing that he's doing when it comes to Nakamura? Is he going to put a kibosh on that match as well as, you know, what he did earlier this past year?
Thought there was a gag order on that.
Not here on this show.
I don't think TK cares one iota about Yo or what Yo does.
So you're saying that if it does happen, he won't care?
Yes.
All right, let's go. Shinsuke, junior champion.
I wouldn't surprise me if Yo didn't come out for his title match, assuming that happens, in a Michael Jackson outfit. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Red leather pants.
I was trying to remember who else did that. Oh, Swerve did that the last pay-per-view.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Cosplay Swerve.
So next question, Death Triangle 720, which actually I read that one right. Wukong 901, how y'all feel after that final? I think it's pretty clear how we all feel after that final.
We have feelings. I used to get criticized that I didn't never have feelings. I was just straight guy, and now I got feelings about this.
Yeah.
Because things didn't suck then. Or I didn't know that they sucked yet.
Rainbow and Slam Pig says, when will Gato or whomever is in the room with him stand trial for terroristic crimes? If you set out to dismantle the junior division over the course of 2 years on purpose, could you do a better job of it than he has?
I mean, I do think people are putting a lot, I mean, seasonality, right? We are in junior season, right? I think people are putting a ton of weight behind this, this Best Super Juniors and the junior division as a whole, because it's front of mind. I do think the booking basically this calendar year has been good. I think, Josh sort of mentioned it earlier that like we've had a lot of refreshing moments. We've had a lot of positive booking. We've had a lot of interesting matchups. We've had more good than not good. I mean, just look at Callum Newman's the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, right? Like, I mean, that's interesting if nothing else. Yeah, we'll talk about it. But it happened, right? They did it. They did the thing. And I think it would be a little unfair to just like look at Best Super Juniors and be like, I'm frustrated by this booking. New Japan is trash, right? And of course, people are doing that because that's what they do. But like, New Japan's still largely very good and on an upward trajectory. I just think they need to make a decision of what they want the junior division to be in a couple of years and just work towards getting to that, because they have done a lot of damage to that division over the last, say, 2 to 4 years.
I will say this. I already kind of spoke to this, so I'm not going to belabor those same points, but here's where I'm frustrated. The match was so good, in my opinion, and the reception for Yo was so good. And even the press conference where he came out with the suit for the first time and everything, like the swag, it is so good that if I wasn't as smart and seasoned in watching New Japan as I am, I would actually be invested in Yo. The problem is I know I can't get invested, and that's what's pissing me off about it, is because I know he can't deliver. And I would be pulling another Sonata by believing that this guy's turned the corner. That's where my frustrations are, because he had a terrible tournament, an incredible finals, so much so that the reaction from the crowd was like so incredible that it's like, man, I want to believe in this guy, but I'm never going to do that. I know that I simply can't do that. And you'd be foolish to be, suckered into that.
Yeah, I think from the Booker's perspective, they had almost 1,000 more people in the building from last year's final. The crowd was raucous all night. They ate the final up. The guy that they picked to win got over huge, and it was a big moment. So, I mean, just from that, I mean, it's hard to, say the Bookers, did a horrible job. Like from their end, like they accomplished what they wanted to and got a good reaction. But kind of like we're all saying what we already know, like, yeah, this is not going to lead to anything great. I mean, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I don't foresee this, incredible Yo title reign that's going to come out of the blue.
I mean, just look at the last block night and know that nothing in the tournament mattered.
Yep.
That's
one
it.
other thing I'll say too is like, Chris, you mentioned, that people are just judging the whole year based off this and like talking shit. To that point, there are those people very critical about this outcome. I don't have, we don't usually play gatekeeper, but I'm going to play gatekeeper for just a moment. If you didn't watch the match or the tournament, you don't have to watch the whole tournament, but if you're not watching the product and then you didn't watch the match and then you just saw the result and then you're burying the shit, I don't respect your opinion one iota. Our listeners who I know watch the shit and still have their similar criticisms to us, valid. But if you didn't see it, it's kind of hard for me to even like put any trust in your opinion on any level, really.
Gatekeeping is good. There's nothing wrong with gatekeeping. I have no issue with the gatekeeper.
Rambo also asks, are we only able to focus on one or two things at a time? So if we heat up the tag division, we have to let juniors go to shit.
Yep. That's
sort of pro wrestling.
That's sort of what Gato's always done.
It's sort of how we roll. Yeah.
Yeah. He also says, what's next for Kosei Fujita? Is he in danger of becoming a Wato, or are we still pretty far away from that?
I think we're pretty far away from that.
We're definitely far away from it because we saw, like, for instance, look at Desperado, a guy who for years never really ascended, and then they finally decided to heat him up and he became the top star of the division. So that's always a possibility, but he's also not being pushed to the moon the way that some of the other predecessors and guys that were seen as, like, you know, the ones that were going to carry the division were. So he's kind of in the middle right now. And you know what? Is there a chance they could fuck it up? They fucked up Show.
Yeah.
Well, house torture.
Right.
Well, they chose to put him there.
Yeah.
They chose to put Doki there too. I mean,
yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
I understand. I'm just saying, I don't, well, God, never mind. I'm just not going to say it out loud. I don't need the call back later.
Yeah. Well, and I think the thing here too is what we're seeing with Yo is, like, it's never too late. And Fujita is so young. Like, they could squander him for years and then flip the switch and decide they want to, you know, finally push him. So I think it's going to be a while.
But even if they do that, it will be such booking malpractice that it'll be like, yeah, you wasted so many years of this guy's, like, prime years. Like, why did you even push him to the top if you were, you know, at that point, if that's what you're going to do, you might as well just treat him like Hinare, just slow roll him for forever.
Yeah.
You know, don't push him to the top and then have him fall from grace. That sucks. I mean, that's what they did to Wato.
Yeah.
Well, Wato got hurt.
Yeah, but every single time that he came back and got heated up and it seemed like it was going to be something.
They wanted it again now.
Yeah.
It felt like it. It felt like they wanted him to heat up.
Yeah.
Bro, when he was wearing that crimson mask against
yeah.
Bro, I was like, hell yeah, let's go, Watto.
Rambo also says, do you believe that Yo is actually going to be the 100th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, or will we get another few months of Doki's reign of terror? Well, I'll save that when we get to the Dominion preview. We can talk about whether we think Yo's winning the title. Carlo Catan says, is Yo the most over junior ever?
What?
I think there's some sarcasm there.
The crowd was hot.
Yeah,
the crowd was hot.
They were.
I don't think it was the most over ever, but the crowd likes him. There is a crowd that likes him. I saw something somewhere. Someone was like, you know, like being like, I think we overanalyze wrestlers who are over, because really what happens is just guys that are around forever end up being the ones that the crowds are most behind. And I was like, that's a terrible take and not totally false, but also I don't find it to be true. Cause like if you suck forever, like Ryosuke Taguchi's been around the longest of the guys in the Super Junior. He definitely was not the most over in the tournament. But
he also, like, he is over. He always gets good reactions.
Well, he's
a comedy guy.
He was once, he's a comedy guy. Well, hey, I mean, where's Yo headed, right?
Hey, Chase Owens has been around for a while. I don't hear him getting monster pops every night.
He still gets his silly gunshot thing, though.
Well, he's a Lone Star Outlaw.
Well, I've heard he rode a horse once.
My favorite thing that he ever did in his career was release that video where he's fighting people in bar saloons, but that's so
exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah,
that's the greatest thing he's ever done.
I'll share a story with you guys about that off air.
Okay.
That means Josh got to stick around after we go off the air for a minute.
Boston Crab Rangoon, do you prefer Ziploc Yo from BOSJ 32 or Playboy Yo from BOSJ 33?
I thought he looked great.
Shit.
No, I think he looked great. The Ziploc thing didn't make any sense to me. Playboy at least makes sense.
How?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. It was like same thing, different year. You know, different material, different colors.
But I mean,
Did it aesthetically look better? Sure.
It certainly aesthetically looked better. I grew up at a time when girls and guys, for that matter, were going to tanning beds and putting the Playboy Bunny on their, like a sticker of the Playboy Bunny on their like lower third of their torso. So the Playboy thing like made sense to me from that generational thing of like, oh yeah, Playboy Bunny. Like people think that's cool, and I don't know, maybe it's a nostalgia thing. The Ziploc bag thing was not a nostalgia thing. It was just weird, sort of. I don't know. I've been to anything but clothes parties. It looked like that.
When I was in middle school, I took a shop class, one of my favorite classes of all time, and we would create different shit. And like we're supposed to do a project where you make a clock, and most of it's like templated. They already know the clocks you're going to make. But one of the designs we were allowed to make, and I don't know why we were allowed to do this, was a Playboy Bunny clock.
Certainly.
And like everybody was like, hell yeah, I'm going to make a Playboy Bunny clock.
Hell yeah, brother. It was like the router out and do that bunny.
And we would like, you would like sand them and paint them and then put the gloss, and then you're like walking around school. You're like, fuck yeah.
You know what time it is.
Did you put it on a chain and just walk around?
Oh, I didn't make that.
You're like, I'm going to Barnes and Noble to see the thing, to see this week's Playboy.
Dude, if I showed up with the Playboy Bunny clock at my house, my dad would beat my ass. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean literally. That would never happen. It would not fly. I was not allowed to do stuff like that.
Yours just looked like a baseball. Just threw some stitches on it. It's just circle.
Like that. This is Bugs Bunny. Calm down.
It's just a profile.
Oh man.
Babs. Okay.
Ginger Infringer says, do you think Yo is another case of a guy who us Western fans just don't really get? If you listen to the crowd, it's undeniable that he's super over with the Japanese fans. And if he can draw people to the shows, I don't see why the company wouldn't put the title on him as much as we may hate it.
They need to space Super Juniors out from Dominion. This is crazy. Like we're a week away from like the second biggest show of the year, maybe one of them. And we have like more questions about this finals than almost any topic all year. This is crazy.
Because the heavies disappear.
They need to space this shit out. This needs to happen.
Well, there was the one year. What was that? The year El Desperado and Taiji Ishimori was the final of the Super Junior. They headlined Dominion with the Super Juniors final.
I hated that too.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah. Like it's just how it is. But they don't do they don't leave enough space for like a road to Dominion. And I think that would help, even just a couple weeks, right? Where they're doing a couple of shows. They do, they end cap it with a couple of Corkins or something. Like that would be, I agree that would be helpful, because like the best Super Juniors finals card sort of reminds you of everything that they're trying to build towards Dominion. But of course, like, because Super Juniors is an actual meaningful tournament, it does sort of get lost in the shuffle, and people definitely parachute in and think all they need to watch on that show is the final, like the final match, instead of like basically treating it like the send off to Dominion.
To go back to the question, is there the case that possibly there are stars that are popular domestically that don't translate maybe with this show or other audiences, fan bases? Sure. Does that mean they fucking rule? No, he sucks. This show isn't going to be for everybody. And there's probably going to be plenty of people listening that don't agree with me or Jeremy or Chris or whatever. But like, the point of the show is for you guys to hear our opinions and perspectives on things. And if we don't get it, we don't get it. But you know what? More often than not, the people that we like end up being like the legends and the top drawers and like the people that like are the movers and shakers of the business. There's almost been no time where I've been like, I hate that guy. And then they end up like just controlling the wrestling world. Like that never happens.
Yeah, I feel like, most times we're pretty right and accurate on kind of the trajectory where these guys are going. And yeah, it might be a thing like in this moment. Yeah, maybe the Western fans are the domestic fans are really into Yo, and it's not connecting with the Western fans. But I don't know. We've watched him long enough, and like he never got these reactions before. To me, this kind of seems like, you know, you got the genie in the bottle for one night, and like I don't know if it's going to happen night in, night out. If he wins the title, is he going to get these monster reactions every night?
Yeah, he's gonna have a Junior Goto run.
That's probably a pretty apt assumption.
Yeah. Except for Goto ruled his entire career, and Yo has never ruled.
Yeah. Next question, Boston Crab Rangoon. How would you crown Kosei Fujita to win his first IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship if you had the book?
Go back a year. Put the title on him after he won his Super Juniors. What are you talking about?
I would turn him heel, have him join House of Torture.
Oh no!
And then win the title. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the only way that they think that they know how to do these things.
Oh, got him.
I would have him not sign a contract, go to NXT, get paid double what he's getting paid just to be in NXT. Maybe win a North American title.
I've heard Fujita's doing okay for himself. I've heard he was thrown down, losing money somewhere, and not caring about it.
Yeah, I mean,
well, we saw how that worked out for Captain New Japan, you know.
I mean, I would have had Fujita win the tournament this year and beat Doki, the guy that's been the terrorist of the division, and bring the hope and light to the division. But that's out the window.
I think they're confused. I honestly think they're confused whether TMDK and Fujita is the face or heel. And I think that it got in the way of whatever they really should have been doing. That's my perception.
That could be it. Yeah. Next question from Carl Catan. Do you think Yo, based on this drawing power, should main event every event from now, or should he share the love around a bit?
It's a Hogan era draw right now.
I mean, that was the biggest draw in Ota since the Liger retirement day on 1/6/2020. I mean, it means something.
Maybe we're onto something here. Well, he falls.
I'm okay to be wrong. I'm okay to be. My opinion is never influenced by whether someone draws. It's whether I enjoyed it. Like I've never put in, I've never put much weight behind they're a big star. Like I don't care. And again, I've long been neutral on Yo. Just been like, I don't know, he's a guy. And I hated this final more than anything. That was where I was at. I hated the member berries final.
Well, Ota City, major market for New Japan, so
yeah,
it's booming.
I mean, it's Tokyo.
Yeah, it's in Tokyo.
It is in Tokyo, but they do big business in Tokyo in other venues all the time. It's just Ota City Ward.
It's notable that people showed up for this.
It is notable.
You're like, I just don't have to care.
Well, his follow-up is, in the history of G1s, we've had quite a few juniors participate. Should Yo be the first winner of the BOSJ in G1 in a year?
Get off the scale. Get out of here.
He would not be. He wouldn't be. Prince
first
Devitt
winner
won the Super G.
But he never won.
He
G1.
didn't win.
The first winner.
He didn't win them both in the same year.
Oh, he's saying that should he win both tournaments? I thought he was saying should he be the first Super Juniors winner to go through? I was like,
no, he's saying Yo should win. Should Yo win the G1? Essentially, is what he's saying.
Oh, gotcha.
Moving on.
Friend of the show, Rich Latta says, show or Yo?
Still Yo.
Show.
Modern
Even
show?
Bullshit, still show.
No. That I cannot stand on that.
I don't want to choose either of them.
Can they just go back to being Roppongi 3?
Right.
And just living in the junior tag division and actually doing an okay job.
Well, at some point there's got to be a nostalgia Roppongi 3K run, right?
Only if Yo joins House of Torture, because you're not allowed to leave.
The real answer between Sho and Yo is Kushida.
With or without the sock.
God. What a fucking
or with or without shoes. Like what?
He was like infused with Matt Riddle and Mick Foley. What a weird. That's how you know he's been in MLW. He's like, oh, this Riddle dude's over. No shoes. Let me bring that back to Japan.
I do kicks.
He's like, oh, Foley's back on AEW. Yeah, let me bring that sock out. Let me get this pop.
Member berries. Eat your member berries.
Boston Crab Rangoon, favorite BOSJ match of all time?
I don't know. Maybe El Samurai and what was the 97 finals? Koji Kanemoto. I think that might be my favorite. I'm not saying it's the best, although it's up there. It's like near 5 stars, but that's probably my favorite.
I mean, there's obviously the 2019 final.
Yeah,
Osprey and Shingo.
That's my answer. I know that's probably the dry, easy answer, but I rewatched that match like 3 times right after it happened. Like, and I was on vacation. Like that match was just incredible. I love that match so much.
There was a really good Korakuen show on that. In that tournament. I'm trying to think. Was it Bandito versus Osprey?
I don't think it was that same tour. I think that was the year before.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure Bandito was 2018, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think it was 2018, but that match ruled. Bandito and Osprey just killed.
No, they had a killer. Maybe it was good. Night 8. I'm looking it up. Night 8 in 2019. Did that match bang? Yeah, that match banged. It was good. It got a 5 from Dave. Means something.
So are we wrong? It was the 2019 tournament, not the 2018?
I mean, that match happened in Korakuen in 2019.
Well, yeah, as Bandito was only in.
Yeah, I think he was only.
He only did one tour.
Yeah,
and that was the semi-main event with Shingo versus Dragon Lee as the main event, which was also great.
That match ruled too.
Yeah,
we had it so good. We had it so good. Oh man.
Jeremy, I think what we should start doing is we'll still review New Japan, but when it's not good, we'll just defer and we'll go back and review good shit that we like. Oh, you thought we were giving you nights 11 through 14 of this year? No, we're going back to 1997.
So that means you're basically saying you're gonna pull a Yo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just gonna go back in time and do stuff that was over at the time.
But the difference is that he's doing that to appeal to an audience. We're doing that to appeal to our own inner selves.
For our own sanity.
For us.
Next question. Fuse Soldier 2780. How do you think BOSJ 33 will affect the junior division going forward?
It won't. Nothing matters.
It fucked it.
No, it won't matter. It won't matter. Nothing matters. They'll move on from it and be done with it.
This was the Everything's Nintendo tournament. Like, everything was the same. Nothing mattered. Yeah.
Robbie X got kind of popular.
Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
Yes, yeah. His popularity grew, yeah.
That did happen.
Defrango 720 says, did this year's Super Junior feel the same as last year's? I don't feel like anyone reached a next level this year nor last year in terms of hierarchy.
In terms of hierarchy, I guess we'll see. I mean, Robbie X certainly had, an ascension with the fan base. But yeah, in terms of hierarchy, no one ascended. Everyone's right where they were. I guess Yo finally won something.
It feels the same because the parody booking is so overdone. Everybody's getting 10 or 8 points or whatever, 12 points. Like it just They're all alive. It sucks.
Yeah. I do feel like Kushida's gone down a few more pegs than he already has been.
Dude entered as a double champion and he got booked to shit.
A double champion on a show no one can watch.
It's funny.
Well, I guess they're back.
Yeah,
No,
MLW,
they're back.
They're back. They're very back.
Although LNW never stops. They're on beeps.
Trust me. I know. You should see anytime MLW shows up in the, or any sort of discussion about MLW shows up in the Voices of Wrestling group chat, like the only 3 emojis that get put on it is the globe, and then the like cross out that means sign. Never, and then the stop sign, and that's it. It's like, and everyone just slaps world never stops.
Bro,
it's one of the best bits in that chat.
Their PR team keeps my inbox filled up.
Oh yeah. Never ending.
I unsubscribed. I wasn't gonna correct you, Chris, because I didn't think you were referring to MLW. I thought you meant like there's no way to watch the Filipino Championship Wrestling. Right. I don't know how to watch that either.
Bro, that man Kushida came in and was like, great idea. I'm wrestling with no shoes and I'm doing the mandible claw. Gail's like, you know what? I was gonna put you in semi. Nah, man. 3-6. Get out of my face.
He's like, we've only got 2 options: 6-3 or 3-6. So, I guess you're swapping with Ishimori.
I think the conversation goes more like this: is like, man, great. Gato tells him, great match out there tonight, man. You did fantastic. And he's like, well, why don't you book me better? You left me. You went to WWE, and you didn't get over.
Now I had to drag your ass back here.
And then you got hand, foot, and mouth disease, and we're going to put you in the title picture.
Do not get hand, foot, and mouth disease.
We all think that
it sucks.
We think it's him who's taking off his shoes. This is a rib by Gato. He's like, you're going to go out there and take your shoes off. Because remember you had hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Remember when your feet were all itchy? Yeah.
Then you're going to take your socks, you're going to put them in people's, but now you're going to put them in your mouth.
You might be onto something there. There's a lot of connective tissue there.
There's a lot of Tarantinoism going on in these Kushida matches. A lot of foot play.
Oh man.
If that's for you, no king shaming.
Ethan says, Chris, you're a stats guy. Do you believe if Valiente had got that win over Taguchi, then we'd see a butterfly effect where we'd be seeing a Kushida finals?
No. I'm just going to go no.
Yeah, I don't see any possibility of how that would have played out.
I feel like the entire junior division needs a butterfly effect for like 4 years. Just take me back to when it mattered at all.
Yeah.
And was on the big, well, I guess it's back on the big show again.
Yeah.
The Raven effect.
Raven was my favorite wrestler in WCW.
I love the Flock.
Love the Flock.
Ethan.
I loved when Goldberg beat the fuck out of the Flock. That's what I love.
Ethan also says, which wrestler do you believe deserves the Bushi Award for this year's Best of Super Junior? Most mid performer.
If I say it, it'll be mean.
Say it.
It was Jacob Austin Young.
Yeah.
I don't think there's another answer.
Doesn't get much more mid than that, honestly.
Unfortunately. I mean, I don't think that hasn't been my feelings about him all year, but in this tournament, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I only think about what's awful and what's great. So, just one side of that for this tournament.
It's called the Jonathan Gresham Award.
I liked him in Super Juniors when he was there. That was 19.
I would take Gresham over.
Remember, they're all like 11-minute matches.
They were long.
At the bottom half of the card.
Yeah. I'm still looking at that Korakuen card I was talking about. He wrestled Tiger Mask for 9 minutes and 21 seconds. So still doesn't have enough votes for a rating.
I'd take Gresham over Heyo, Daisuke Sasaki, Jacob Austin Young.
This man did a shooting star press at GCW the other night.
Right, wasn't it into like light
Jonathan Gresham?
Yeah, wasn't it like light tubes or something?
Yeah, he did a shooting star press onto light tubes. It ruled.
Oh,
you got to see this clip. Yeah.
Wow.
And you know how bulk. And you know how he's big now too?
Yeah.
Like when he landed, he was like, bah!
I do have to see this.
All right. Well, that was Best the Super Junior 33. Hopefully we'll never have to talk about this tournament ever again. Let's move on to...
We talked about it for a long time.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Dominion coming up this Sunday, June 14th in Osaka Joe Hall. We have the full card that was announced this morning. So we can go through match by match here, give our thoughts and predictions. So the show will open up with an NJPW World Television Title match. The Alpha Konosuke Takeshita will defend against Sonata.
I'm very curious what Sonata looks like after this, this long period of time off that was clearly injury related. I'm assuming it was injury related. Because he had, we all saw it, right? We were struggling to get through some Sonata matches, even when he was just in there for tags. So, and I've generally been a Sonata, I wouldn't say defender, but I've found Sonata to be a serviceable wrestler. So I'm curious what it looks like with him in there with, a great wrestler in Takeshita. Because Sonata has certainly had his moments where he was a great wrestler. So when he's in there with, top tier guys.
I think that the distance between, the tease of the Masked Man and then the reveal of the Masked Man, and now the match is finally happening. It's been not the most fortunate timing. It's been so spread out to where this is sort of kind of an afterthought. Sonata was a guy, like, there's no denying Sonata has a connection with the audience to some degree. He's not the biggest star, but he is a star. I think he gets better reactions from the audience than Takeshita, not in terms of like reaction to the moves, because when Takeshita's working and all that, the crowd is with him, but like when they just appear and they pop out of the crowd, like into the audience from their entrance, like Takeshita's not getting the kind of pops like Sonata will. I do think they run the risk a little bit of maybe an evil Takeshita G1 finals reaction. Like, obviously Sonata's supposed to be the heel making his return, but the crowd might be like loving the fact that he's back and actually like supporting him. All the same, I can't see Takeshita winning or losing this match. He just gained a major title in AEW. So I don't see him dropping the belt to Sonata. I'd be pretty surprised by that. The match should be fine. I do think, though, overall, when you take a look at a guy like Takeshita and him going from semi-main eventing in the Tokyo Dome with the IWGP title to turning around and having this title, and the way they've kind of like flopped and floundered, it's almost all opening matches. It's been all House of Torture guys. Now they're getting Sonata, and it is a little intriguing, but like I said, I don't think it's been built super well, and I don't anticipate it being like a fantastic outing for these guys personally. So especially with the 15-minute time constraints that are going to be on it, and then whatever potentially new gimmick Sonata is going to debut. So I personally, I'm not really looking forward to this one.
Yeah. Had this been, any other version of Sonata, Just Five Guys, LIJ, TNA, any other version of Sonata you pick, like, this would have been a pretty intriguing match. We've seen Sonata when he's not gimmicked down and he's in there with a great worker. He can be risen to that level and have a great match. But yeah, Josh mentioned he's gonna have all the gimmicks. He's gonna have the guitar. He's gonna have the stereos. He's gonna have the clone lookalikes. He's gonna do all the gimmicks. It's gonna be a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's House of Torture. We're probably gonna get ref bumps and shenanigans. Part of this feud involved Chase Owens and Yujiro. Wouldn't be surprised if those guys pop back up to try and help Sonata win. But yeah, I don't expect Takeshita to lose here, but I expect a lot of shenanigans.
I think he's going to have a new gimmick. I don't think he's going to have all that old shit. I think that he's like, I don't know what the new mask gimmick has been with the suit, but I just assume he's a butler now. Like he had to pick up some side work after he left New Japan.
He really enjoyed watching Luther won Dynamite. He's like, I got an idea.
Actually, I could see like the suits he's been wearing and the masks. That kind of like screams magician to me. I could see him like pulling shit out of his mouth, like the long, like, you know, and he reaches down and like pulls out a bouquet of flowers and like he takes his hat off and like
birds
fucking a fucking bird flies away.
I'm down, actually.
Sonata as a magician wrestler sounds fucking awesome. So
It does. I think you just unlocked this, like the way to get Sonata over.
This is coming from three guys that we're complaining about the leopard. We're complaining about we bury Jake Lee on the show all the time for being a clown, but we're like, Sonata's a magician.
He's like, but what about magic?
Hey.
Sonata as Chris Angel. Let's go.
Magic always gets over. All right, so
But he's got to have the birds. There's got to be a bird that flies out.
Right,
somewhere.
it hits Takeshita right in the face.
Bro, I can see it right now. Like night 11 of G1, he's wrestling like whoever the fuck, and then he stops them.
Oscar.
Pulls out a deck of cards. Yeah, he's wrestling Oscar. He's like, wait.
Pick
Pulls
a card,
out
any
deck of
card.
cards. He's like, pick a card.
Man,
Oh my god.
has that?
He starts throwing cards at him like he's Gambit and shit.
Then all of a sudden he becomes Odd Job and he's just throwing his bowler hat.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, so I think we're all going with Takeshita here. Next matchup, no disqualification match. El Phantasmo versus Jake Lee.
I'm glad they're keeping this stuff at the bottom of the card at least.
Yeah.
It's like no disqualification, no count out. It's not false count anywhere, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. It could be a good chance to show off the beautiful venue that is Osaka Joe Hall. That could be enjoyable to get out and see the I don't know. I got nothing. It's
Two guys that were in a very different position on January 4th, and we're 6 months out, and it's like, boy, like I don't know, they're gonna get a payday, and we're gonna see it. I don't know why it's no DQ match. Like that makes no sense.
The only angle we got in the finals.
That's not enough to justify a no DQ match in this situation. Did anyone bleed in that angle?
No, but he got hit with a chair.
Nah, bro.
Oh, that was one. This is one of my fun stats that they broke up. I think the last time I highlighted it, El Phantasmo had wrestled in Osaka, the city, Osaka, like half dozen times, and he had never won. I think this was maybe during the last G1, or maybe it was Power Struggle, or the last time they were in 12 times. Sorry, 12 singles matches in Osaka. And he was 0-12, and now he's 1-12. So that was a fun one. So he's 0-2 in Osaka Hall.
Anytime there's like a really massive singles, not massive, but anytime there's like a notable singles match on the undercard of these shows, we're always like, pay attention. That might be a number one contenders match for the IWGP. Well, it's like you look at this match, you're like, this just screams television title challenger next month, because that's all this could possibly be.
Can they possibly go back to El Phantasmo and Takeshita?
Yep, I bet you they can. I bet you they will.
I know some of those matches have been really good, so I don't want to trash it.
One of those matches was really good.
The G1 match was really good too.
The G1 match was great.
Great.
The first one,
yeah.
I've never seen a feud between two guys like go downhill so the way that this one has. It's never been as good as the first one.
Yeah, it's diminishing returns every time.
The first match was awesome.
Yeah. And as far as the winner, like you would think, ELP, he's been out for a while. Maybe they'll give him something, but I don't know. This company loves Jake Lee. They don't really love pushing ELP, so I'm gonna go with Jake Lee.
I'm not gonna lie, I did pop for Jake Lee coming out of the corridor in Korakuen with the fucking face paint on and everyone like selling it like Bray Wyatt shit. I liked that kind of. That was during a terrible match though.
For what it is, Jake Lee is executing the gimmick. He is committed to the bit.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone told him to do it. It's like his own.
There's certainly a chance that that's true.
All right, so who's winning?
I'm going Jake Lee.
I guess I'll go Jake Lee. El Phantasmo sort of had a run there for a little bit. I feel like it's time for him to. Maybe he'll do that thing that he does during the G1 where he gets all depressed and sad and stuff.
I need friends and
that. We've
You're on mute, Josh.
Maybe he's just setting up for his G1 run.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gotta eat some L's here.
I don't even know. I didn't even touch anything. I don't know how I went on a mute. Remember how we used to complain all the time about ELP going to 15-minute draws with people? Mm-hmm. This is like the one exception where it's like, I wish this was only 15 minutes and it just go to a draw, nobody wins, and just move on.
Oh man. Well, moving on, we got Taichi and Yuya Uemura versus the TMDK team of Roy Oiwa and Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, that's gonna fuck.
I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah, very hyped.
Yeah, that like washes away the stench of the other matches that precede it. Like those are basically the buy-in, and this is where the real pay-per-view starts right here.
Right, yeah. And it's interesting here because I'm wondering also, G1 is the next major tour after this, but we know Oiwa and Sabre have teamed up a lot. It's like if they win, are you just kind of continuing it down the tagline again? Are we going to get them versus Knockout Brothers again? Which those have been great, but I think we're getting a pattern of kind of doing that over and over again. Or do we go Taichi and Uemura and get them in the mix with KOB, or are we trying to get some singles aspirations out of this? A lot of intriguing angles that they can come out here with this match.
Yeah, and I think the obvious pairings, right, are Taichi and Zach, and then Uemura and Oiwa. Like these are sort of, I don't know, you can't call them generational rivals, but like they're connected, right? Oiwa and Uemura are certainly connected, and then Taichi and Zach have a ton of history in various ways. So, I'm curious what those pairings look like. I'm curious what the fall looks like, right? Who on who, right? If it's previous generation going over, if it's Taichi over Oiwa or Zach over Uemura, like that feels wrong, right? It doesn't feel like the right thing to do. But if you put it on the opposite foot and you go Oiwa over Taichi or Uemura over Zach, like that feels meaningful. It feels helpful to one of those guys. It feels like it could set something up for a G1 match that's really meaningful, or even just a first night G1 match, right? I mean, give me Zach versus Uemura in Chicago on July 11th, and like I'd be a happy man, right? So like some of this stuff, maybe we're going to see some seeds planted in that way that starts to pique some interest as we head towards the G1, especially in this match where all these guys at least will be players towards the G1. Who knows what the story will be with Taichi this year, but I mean, if nothing else, you got 4 great wrestlers going in there that probably have a great tag match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's no denying the quality of the match just given the talent that's involved. And certainly there could potentially be ramifications when it comes to the tag division, but that's a little nebulous because like you said, Jeremy, like we've seen TMDK challenge so many times, with the timing of things, with G1 around the corner, are we really going to go back to all of that? There is the distinct possibility that the ramifications coming out of this match just might be strictly singles based entirely, because at the end of the day, even though these guys team together, they are all like singles competitors primarily most of the time. And there's interesting like the story bits because it's like Oiwa and Zach, they failed at the tag division or tag title challenge. if they are going to jump back on that horse, it would be like what, the third time, right?
Yeah.
On the flip side of things, they've been telling a story for several months now about Taichi and Yuya, where after New Japan Cup, they were kind of just floating and trying to find something to do. If there was a team that could win and then justify challenging for the tag titles, that might make a little bit more sense. But Yuya has challenged for those belts as well in the past and failed. So either way though, however, there's a lot of different cool, interesting things they could be doing here, whether it does, go back to the junior or to the tag division, that would be cool. Or if it just basically has ramifications for all of these guys in a singles capacity, whatever the fallout of whoever wins here ends up being, there could be cool, interesting, creative ideas to basically play out.
Yeah.
I meant to mention this when we were talking about the Super Juniors final. The sort of preview match for this match was, first of all, very good. And it did plant the seed that Taichi versus Hartley Jackson should be a play-in or one of the playoff matches to get in the to get into the G1. I just felt like that would be like a sick Korakuen match.
I can't really handle that, I don't think.
Big feelings.
Yeah, bro. I love both those guys.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed if
could you imagine that Korakuen crowd? They'd be
rocking.
bonkers.
But that would be a great B block match. Like get both of those guys in there.
Sure.
Yeah. If
fine.
I'm not going to be as damaged by it if it's just a B block match, but if it's a play-in match, I don't know, man. That's going to be like the second most emotional match for me behind Tanahashi's retirement. Like,
I believe you. I don't know. I don't think you're lying.
Oh, I'm being dead ass right now. Like, that would.
So who y'all going with this match?
It would be awesome. I think Taichi and Uemura are going to win. I don't know what it'll mean. I think it'll be clear what it'll mean by the end of the night. Maybe it won't. I think Taichi and Uemura win. I think that's more interesting.
I'm usually not apt to go with the Taichi team as the predicted winner. And in fact, that's given me a lot of like hesitation even agreeing with Chris. But I think because Uemura is there and they pushed him so far, he could be the guy that picks up the win over like Oiwa, and it would make a little bit more sense there. And then they would be viable challengers for the tag titles moving forward.
Yeah, I'm like you, Josh. I'm usually hesitant. Taichi's usually a pin eater when you see him on the other end of whatever team he's on. But yeah, it just seems like you have Zach and Oil win. It just kind of seems like what's the next step, what's interesting out of that. So yeah, I'm going to go with the more intriguing option, even though it might not be the most predictable option, going with Taichi.
Taichi got the win on the Super Junior final.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, he picks up wins on like Road to level, like multi-mans and stuff.
What I will say, I think it's cool that there's a meaningful titleless tag team match, 2-on-2 tag team match on one of these big shows. It's like when every now and then, when the juniors mattered, you would get that like undercard junior thing, singles match. This is sort of the tag team equivalent of that, where it's like nice to see.
Well, speaking of undercard junior things, we're going to have the tag champions clashing as Místico will take on El Desperado.
It should be good.
Should be very good.
Should be real good. I think probably wins, right? I don't know. It's sort of two immovable objects here.
Yeah. You would think Místico probably wins, but then what's the follow-up from that? But I guess, they're junior tag champs. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess, I don't know.
I hope we...
we're not getting that. We're getting the dubbed.
Which is that's a banger too, in its own way.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that when Místico came to Japan last time, he did job to Hiromu, and then Hiromu jobbed to him in Arena Mexico and vice versa. But I don't think he sees Desperado as a Hiromu level like star. There's no way Mystico's coming to Japan and laying down for Desperado. And he's got Tony Khan sway. Like, come on, dude. I also don't know why this match is happening. It is funny that like
because they want it.
Right. But it's like Desperado could have been defending the junior title for like the greater part of a year on these bigger shows. And he always chose to work the the Korakuen Hall before it. Suddenly he doesn't have the title and he's deciding to work Mystico on a big show. Like, he's gone for a long time without having big matches on these shows.
Oh yeah. But Mystico wasn't around. Maybe El Desperado just was like, F these kids.
Mystico's like you want me to work. Mystico's like, you want me to work what? A road to where? Nah, playa.
No, give me the hall. Give me the castle.
So going Mystico on this one?
Yeah.
I think I am. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll do the same thing they did with Hiromu, where they give each guy a win in their home country. But I'm still kind of confused why it's happening, because they hold the titles together. It's weird, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, next up, we got the Never Openweight title match. Yeah, the big rematch here. Sold out Ren Narita defends against Aaron Wolf.
So we're jumping into the TV Acai portion.
Yes.
You know, I do want to make a correction. Last week, I think I stated that TV Acai held a greater number of shares or like controlling percentage over Cyber Agent, and that's not actually the case. So
they're equal.
Yeah, they're equal.
Yeah, they're equal. But yeah, I don't know. What's the match again?
Ren Narita versus Aaron Wolf.
Oh, yeah. So obviously this is the big build. We've had to endure half a year of Aaron Wolf just mucking it up with House of Torture, and you want to believe this is the big payoff, right?
I mean, it has to be.
To believe that.
If it's not, then you definitely shoot this booking team to the sun. Like, this would be ultimate booking. I mean, I already feel like what they've done with Wolf has been booking malpractice. But if you have him lose here again, like, that's horrible.
Yeah, that would be. I was tired of talking about Aaron Wolf's booking after the first round of the New Japan Cup, and I can only imagine the conversations that would happen if he loses this. The thing is, like, this has to be the end of that. Well, it doesn't have to be, but
does not.
Bro, I think it has. I think. Well, if he's in the G1, he's going to have to wrestle guys who are not in House of Torture, 1-on-1.
Oh,
don't give me this House of Torture block. Like, I'm not hearing that.
There's going to be a special C block just for him, and it's going to be him,
Yujiro,
Chase Owens, Narita.
I made a list earlier in the year of people I think are, likely competitors in the G1, people that I feel like are locks, and then people that I think are sort of on the bubble. And I put Aaron Wolf as a lock, and a lot of people in our Discord, they're like, he's not going to be in the fucking G1.
He's a lock. He's a lock.
And I'm like, there's no way. If he has held a title this year, he had one of the biggest, he has to be in it. But there's a lot of people who are like, he could literally just work like singles matches underneath or like major tag teams and like be an attraction and not be in it. And I'm like,
nope. If that's the case,
if that's what we're doing as a company, then
if that's the case, he's finishing up on 1-4 next year. And he's like that. And it was a 1-year thing. He will be in the G1. I'll be stunned if he's not in the G1. They need him in the G1. And with that said, like, theoretically, that means this match needs to be the end of the House of Torture ride he's been on for the first half of this year. In one way or another. I don't care if he wins or loses. It doesn't matter to me. I guess I prefer he wins.
No way he loses.
It makes more sense if he wins, but like, I don't know. I think you have to get House of Torture over somehow again without Evil. and maybe it's the Red Narita. But yeah, I think Wolf wins. I think he wins. I think it becomes clear that he, they'll build up whatever he's going to do next with the Never title during the G1. And then, we roll from there. And maybe that's back to House of Torture. I don't know. That would be frustrating and annoying, but I guess I can't rule it out. I'm most curious to see how long this match goes. And, generally, if they do any regular wrestling, any amount of it that shows that Wolf is like, in there as a singles guy, and what that G1 might look like then.
Yeah, I think like the idea that Wolf would lose is preposterous. I think everything's been building to the big moment on national TV where he regains the belt. So that's a foregone conclusion in my book. The idea that he's going to get like, moments where he's throwing everybody from House of Torture around a la the evil match, that's also a given. I think they're also going to have those, quips that they can show on TV or whatever. I agree with Chris. The big question here is, what's the progress? Like, can Narita, take a younger green up and coming guy and like give him a great match? And can this guy show us more than just a shoulder tackle and a body slam and a elbow drop and, an a lariat? Like, we need to see him actually progress as a performer. And can he, get some of that magic from 1-4 back?
Yeah, and I hope that's the case because, I left the Tokyo Dome being, very optimistic and excited about his prospects and his future. And, I'm just not feeling it right now. So hopefully this is a moment to kind of, recapture that magic, get him a big win, and then, potentially do something interesting and new of him going into G1. So, I think we're all in agreement here. Aaron Wolf is probably going to win here.
I think he likes to be called Wolf Aaron.
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Wolf Aaron, yes. Up next, IWGP Tag Team title match. The Knockout Brothers, Oscar and Yuto Ice, will defend against the United Empire team of Great Okan and He Na Rei.
This should be awesome.
Meh.
You don't think? I mean, bro, KOB, the run they're on, every single match.
The KOB runs on that they're on is great. I think Hanari's great. Puts in a lot of effort. Hanari puts in a lot of effort. I think Hanari puts in a lot of effort. And I hope Hanari puts in a lot of effort.
I think the thing with Okan, though, is I'm obviously not the biggest supporter of his, but in a tag team scenario, he's a guy like how we talked about where he can be there and just be serviceable and doesn't necessarily detract from the match. The question is, will he do things that do detract from the match?
What I'll say is that's generally not how these KOB title defenses have gone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's everywhere. It is. I mean, there's a lot of pace, in their really good ones. They just it's sort of this never ending tornado tag thing for the last 10 minutes, mm-hmm. which is exciting, but also a little annoying. Right. Because I don't know, find a tag rope. But I do wonder what that looks like. I know what that looks like from Hanare. He'll be stoked. Right. I mean, throw a chair at him or whatever. He'll be fine. Okan, what does that look like? Does he have that pace in him? Has he been working out with the Prince of Pace or not?
I think he does, because when I think back at the tag matches that he's had in World Tag League and some of the title runs with not only Hanare, but also the Jeff Cobb team and stuff like that, he what I meant by him being serviceable, I meant he keeps pace with everybody else and he's hitting his mark. He's not the guy that when the match is over, you're remembering what he specifically was doing, but he's been surrounded in those scenarios by great tag teams that made him look serviceable as well. And the matches were still great. when he had his very good matches with both these teams, I don't think he ever like detracted overall.
Sure.
Like he's just kind of there. It is going to come down to like you said, it's a very fast pace. Is he going to be able to keep up? We know he can do the brawling stuff with them early on. That's no problem. But it's is he going to be sitting on people's heads and doing the story gimmick shit?
Is he the guy that slows it down when he
is he going to be slowing it down?
Yeah.
When he pops back up from outside of the ring, is he the guy slowing down the match and taking
putting the claw on?
Yeah, it's like
going to put the claw on Oscar's knee.
So I think this match could go either direction, right? Where not necessarily in the outcome. I think KOB wins this, but I find it fascinating to see what style of match this ends up being, or if it has that same kind of furious pace as they head towards the finish that some of these great KOB defenses have had.
Yeah, I think this match will end up being pretty good. It will probably end up being KOB's worst defense on paper when you compare it to everything else. But I think it'll be very good, and I think that when you kind of force Okan into like a hard hitting matchup, I think he excels in those situations. So I think when he's in there with Yuto Ice and they're throwing back and forth strikes, that might be pretty good. So I think either way, it should end up being a decent matchup. And yeah, I agree. I think Knockout Brothers will retain. I think we've seen time and time again, we expect them to go with United Empire and Hanare and Okan. They never do. And I think they probably would want Knockout Brothers going into G1 as tag champions.
Yeah, you think.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with KOB till like the wheels fall off at this point, because I feel like they're positioned to potentially, even though in the past, like every time they've teased people breaking records in the past few years, they always fall short. I'm getting the feeling like this is a long-term thing and they're going to, surpass the record that Bad Intentions has and all that sort of stuff. But if you did want to take the titles off them, now wouldn't necessarily be the worst time. It is right before the G1. And sure, you could say like they want them going in as tag champions, but it's like, if you wanted to give either guy a real push, maybe you take the titles off of them so that they're players at that point.
True.
That's sound logic. I think that's like a devil's advocate though. Logic.
I had predicted that they would lose the titles before New Japan Cup for the same reason. Although that one to me makes more sense because they like to push young talent, for the first time in that tournament, even if it's not all the way. But they could do. I'm not saying they're gonna do that. I'm just saying the possibility does exist because they have time and time again not gone with Hanare and Great Okan like you sort of think they would, but they do like to give those guys a bone every now and again. So it's not impossible.
Yeah. And I mean, United Empire as a whole, even though individually they haven't won a lot outside of Newman, I think the group as a whole has been getting pushed and it's been elevated behind Newman. So if you wanted to give the group a little bit more steam, you could have them win here.
It's also gonna be a really sad night for them when their other two teammates lose their titles in the top of the card. So,
well, that's sort of the thing, right?
The group needs to have some gold.
Do they? If the story's gonna end up being probably some sort of, we'll call it a civil war. If that's gonna end up being the story, isn't it better if they all lose it?
Yeah, but New Japan just rarely ever does that. I thought
know.
about that.
Yeah.
There was like one day I was thinking about it and I was like, there's almost never a time where a group just doesn't have any titles of any sort at all. Like that's so rare.
When they went into a show or just ever.
Like ever.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that's got some sort of title in some group.
That's the thing that keeps me thinking that maybe this is where KOB loses, because then these guys win tags. these guys were both brought into United Empire by Ospreay. So if the story ends up then being Ospreay and Newman, the two sort of sides to the equation, then I think you see, you could justify that these guys won. They're going to stick with Ospreay, maybe, I don't know. And then, Andrade's probably just going to disappear. But and then if Newman loses in the main event, then you've got, sort of a launch pad for a story. But it doesn't feel like the right time to do it, but I guess
they're still going to be 6-man champions either way, though, I guess. Huh?
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. So are you loading these guys up as double champions?
They've done that so many.
Oh yeah,
they've
absolutely.
Done it so many
they've
times.
absolutely done, but should they? Is it the right decision?
I don't know. Inari's not as cut as he was on January 4th.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going KOB.
Yeah, I think I'm sticking with KOB.
I'm going KOB.
Well, next up, IWGP Global Heavyweight Title 3-way match. 3 Latino man Andrade El Idolo defends against...
How you know?
defends against Drilla Moloney and Roughneck Shota Umino.
All right, well...
I want Shota Umino to win this match because it sort of then takes him out of the G1 equation.
Oh.
And because I think he's ready for like his first run as a like with a high level singles title.
They kind of need to do it.
Yeah, and it's real easy because he pins Drilla Moloney and Andrade goes home.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so
and then maybe they do a
that.
singles. I don't know.
I think holding off a title win for him for so long and then doing it in a 3-way with these guys
sure
doesn't make sense to me. Although, who knows? The booking, you never know.
I mean, it's really protective of everyone.
I think that Drilla is a guy that he re-signed with the company. They want to basically give him something. This whole thing was booked in a way because obviously Andrade's not going to have to take a pinfall here and drop the title. I think Drilla is going to beat Shota Umino, and Umino is going to have another heartbreaking title loss going into the G1, which I'm still predicting him to win.
Right. I think a lot of people are predicting him to win the G1. I do think, AEW politics aside, New Japan likes to do this sort of red herring thing where you're like, well, the champion's going to lose without being pinned. And then like the champion eats the pinfall.
Didn't Mercedes
to
do
lose
that?
the title? I don't remember.
No, I think she didn't take the pinfall.
I feel like it's happened though in like the 3-way situations, even with tags or whatever. More often than you would imagine, what's happening when you see it on US TV, right? You have pretty good vibe on that, especially one particular company. But I'm curious to see if that's what happens. I don't think there's any reason to leave the title with Andrade.
Well, there's a small part of me that's wondering, was this the original plan? Because if you think about it, this probably would have been Gabe Kidd. And it still makes sense to be a 3-way. Like, obviously, the history between Gabe and Drilla and the history between Gabe and Umino. So was this Gabe's booking the whole time, and Gabe was going to come in as a champion and win and continue his whole story that he was doing with, I'm AEW now. And especially, there's rumors of potentially Andrade being in G1.
In the G1,
Do you just have him win? He pins one of these dudes, and then he's going into G1 as a global champion.
He pins someone and says Andrade wants in the G1.
Right. I'm going to win the G1. How you know?
Well, and then it feels likely that we get G1 announcements on Dominion. They did that last year. We got the most of each block. We got 16 of the 20 last year, and then the play-in was also announced. the tournament to get into the G1 was also announced. So it feels like eventually, like at some point in the card, that's probably happening.
Mhm.
I guess it could be after this match. That doesn't feel out of the question. So yeah, I mean, that's a fair route to get there. You know, right? Andrade wins, even if he says nothing, right? Even if he doesn't say I want in the G1, then you funnel right into, you know, the G1 music, the stuff on the screen, and you know they announce Andrade's in, and you're like, oh, I guess that win makes sense then.
Yeah,
that's possible.
And then if UE wins the tag titles and then he retains, then it's like, oh man, they're going for a clean sweep tonight. And then
but then we know. But then you really know what's happening in the main event.
I think the arguments you guys made, kind of pointing back to potential G1 inclusion, that's pretty compelling to me. I'm still gonna stick with Drilla just because I still think that like
it'd be cool.
They probably owe him something at this point for him like not signing elsewhere. So I think something's gonna happen with that. But you know, I don't think it's implausible what you guys are saying as far as like Andrade retaining.
Yeah, this is probably the match I have the least certainty about.
Yeah. I think just for intrigue, I'm going to go with my option and go with Andrade retaining.
Well, for my soul, I'm going to go Shota Umino wins because I think he'd look good with a white belt. It feels like a white belt kind of guy.
Makes sense. Drilla.
All right. So we all got 3 different winners there. Well,
I like that.
Semi-main event, we got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title returning to the big stage here as Doki will defend against the best of the Super Junior winner, Yo.
I'm glad this is happening on this card.
Yeah, I mean, we've been complaining in all year, like, why are the juniors being sequestered to their own little show and kind of seem like a second, you know, kind of act part of the roster. So yes, I'm glad it's back on the main card. I'm glad it's in semi-main event position. I just wish it was a different title match.
Is this going to be on the cable portion, like national cable?
I think it's another one of those things where they have a tiny window and they're going to clip it and then it goes up. I don't think it's live.
Okay, so it's not live?
I think it's the same thing that happened with Wrestle Kingdom, which was like it was shown later in the day and it was clipped up. So it doesn't matter. It didn't necessarily matter like when the TV like tapped in.
I thought they just aired like the last 4 matches and the rest of the card. I didn't realize. Okay. Cause I was going to say like, that'd be a crazy decision to make this right here, Doki and Yo, the semi-main event. If hypothetically it was going to be shown on TV, that I was like,
I mean, it's hypothetical that it could be shown on TV, but I think the only 2 that you can really guarantee are probably shown on TV is Darren Wolf and
the title match.
Yeah. And the probably something else, and it could be this.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think you're still skipping around.
I'm not really enthusiastic whatsoever for all the reasons we've already talked about. I'm not going to mention all of that again. I just, I guess the positive will be there's no way Yo loses here. If he does, then that tournament was one of the worst in the company's fucking history at that point. So he has to win and there'll be a happy moment. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree exactly with everything you said.
Yeah, I agree.
And notice none of us are talking about like the quality of the match because like I just have no expectation.
Well, yeah, which match is going to have more House of Torture-isms?
This one for sure. It'll be longer.
The Never or this one? Yeah,
that's a tough call.
It is. I think that's a tough call.
Oh, at first I thought you.
I don't know that this one will be longer.
I was thinking about the Sonata Takeshita matchup, but yeah.
Yeah. I meant never or this.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this. I don't know if
there's gonna be
I don't even know if
we're on this fucking.
Well, it's like Dominion last year. Dominion last year's when Doki turned.
Yeah.
And it threw everyone into a tailspin. So
there was a lot of House of Torturism in their first match at Korakuen Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if House of Torture shows up for that TV title match.
I mean, there might be a little bit.
Someone might, right? Yujiro comes out or whatever.
Sonata's going to have somebody come out.
Yeah.
And here, I'm assuming Yo is probably going to have, the ex-Chaos guys come out, defend them off.
But then who's seconding Aaron Wolf? Is he going to do it all on his own? Tenzan. On his retirement tour.
That's how he sets up Wolf as his retirement opponent.
That could be that. Peak Tenzan versus Wolf would have been awesome.
Get some little TVSI match out of his retirement.
TV bonus, baby.
Well, let's go to the main event. IWGP Heavyweight Title. The Prince, Callum Newman, defends against the Gene Blast, Yota Tsuji. And we had a question from Siamese Twin Cobra. Does Extra Cream Yota Tsuji regain the title here, or does he win the G1 and challenge at Wrestle Kingdom?
What the fuck?
I just read the question.
First of all, the question says Extreme Cream, and I don't know if that makes it better. I don't want him to win the G1 and challenge at Wrestle Kingdom. So also, but if he won the G1, I think he's the guy that would challenge at Wrestle Kingdom instead of doing a Ryogoku challenge. But he could also push for that as the champion, because he's Mr. Take it all back to the way it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if he wins the G1, I have hope that then we carry that tradition back, or we bring that tradition back. But again, I think he could also influence that as the champion. I think Tsuji probably wins this, but I'm 80-20. I'm not firm on he's totally gonna win. The TV thing it makes some sense that they want to just drill in that Tsuji's the new guy, right? Because we know that there was some pretty hefty viewership on the Tanahashi retirement show, and they put over Tsuji big in that match. So it makes a lot of business sense that Tsuji would win it back here, but I'm not ruling out the super surprise.
Yeah, for me, I'm going with a CG
I don't think it's
win.
impossible, but
go ahead. I think you were a little bit lagging. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I've got Tsuji as well. I think, the internet's been weird tonight. Since Callum won this title, we sort of have said all along, there's a very good chance if they can book it the right way and get to the match in a logical way, he's going to probably just lose the title back to Tsuji at Dominion. I did not love the way they got here. I still kind of don't think it makes a lot of sense, but it is what it is. We're here now. I loved the first match they had. I do think that there's room for improvement. I'm hoping that we see that here, but essentially there's a story to be told with Callum, and it involves Will Ospreay, who's probably going to be world champion in his company very shortly. Callum, I don't think really would be, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for whatever that story is that they're telling for him to be world champion. They're never going to headline those guys at the Dome, two white guys for the IWGP. That's not going to ever happen. So it makes sense for he loses his title, Will wins his, now this conflict sort of exists. And also at the same time, Tsuji just makes more sense as being the headline champion in the G1. I don't think Callum really fits that mold where they can count on him at this point, after a short title reign like that. I don't think he's been established enough to where they could do that.
Yeah. And I'm going with Tsuji, and I think a key element of the story that you mentioned, Josh, is Will Ospreay. And Will's not going to be here. He said that he's getting married, so he's missing the show. This will be the first time.
I wonder if he's lying, though.
I mean, he could be, but let's say he's telling the truth and he's not going to be there. This is the first.
He's going to send a video he's going to be wearing a tux and send a video on the big screen.
He's going to have a hologram of himself out there.
Yeah. Since he's wearing a tux, is he going to do magic like Sonata as well?
Maybe. But this will be the first defense where Ospreay's not out there in Newman's corner. And that's been a big story of him trying to stop Newman from cheating and, wanting him to wrestle the right way, yada, yada, yada. So is this the moment where Ospreay's not there? Newman can do what he wants. He goes to cheat. It backfires and he loses. And then that's the conflict where Ospreay's like, bruv, I told you, if you did it the right way, you would have won. But you tried to do the shenanigans. You had Zane J out there. It backfired. So you could have still been champion right now, but you had to do it your way, and your way was the wrong way.
Make way. That feels like what's going to happen. If Callum loses, that's what's happening. If Callum wins, he's going to win via cheating, like heavy cheating, like super obvious cheating, and then Ospreay's going to come back and be all mad about it. So I guess that could go either way, but I think Jeremy's route is the most likely path. I don't think he's winning clean twice. If he wins. Well,
yeah, but Tsuji lost in a non-clean manner the first time. So if they turn around and they do it again, I guess you could tell the story where he needs to chase Callum long term.
Nah.
But it just feels like such a neutering of the guy who was poised as like, I'm going to carry this generation on January 4th. And then we get to June and he's losing twice to a guy that, 11 months prior, no one thought it was possible he could even be champion. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like it's classic Gato booking for him to just beat Callum and then, move on. And then eventually at some point they'll come back around.
Yeah. I also think the Andrade loss hurt Tsuji too. So that this would be like his third major singles loss in a row.
Yeah.
If he were to lose here. And I don't think you need to do that here.
If you lose the series winning the G1. Because then that's the build him back.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that story though.
I don't like it either. I agree. I'm just devil's advocating at this point for like
we don't always get what
the
we
story
want.
would be.
So it sounds like we're all going with Tsuji.
Yeah. I mean, I think that has to be the bet if you're a betting person.
Yeah. And we had a question here from Drift Triangle 720. Go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, I hate to be Debbie Downer, right? Like, I looked at this card on paper and I just see all the names and matches. I'm like, yeah, this is a really good Dominion card. Like, they're doing like a lot of cool. And I'm not like trying to say that I hate the overall card. I don't. But as we're reviewing it and I'm like applying logic to the booking and how we got here and some of the ramifications, I'm like, I think the matches in ring will be very good, but I don't know that I love where they've gotten to by June of this year.
Yeah, it could have been better based off how January went. But kind of in that vein, we had a question from Def Triangle 720. Do you feel like Dominion has lost its excitement compared to past years? Dominion hasn't felt the second biggest show in the company since 2023, and this year the card just doesn't excite me.
I mean, Dominion had the best match of all time on it. Like, it really did used to be very significant, right? Mm-hmm. And then you had in 19, you had Moxley come in and he had already come in, but he did a match, and then that's when the Umino thing started with Moxley. And I mean, it feels like a big show, but it doesn't feel like the end of a season show, which is sort of how it's treated, right? Like everything between Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion is sort of like first half of the year season, and then you roll right into G1 and then G1 to Wrestle Kingdom, right? So Wrestle Kingdom is sort of your end cap on both ends of the year, which for good reason. It's January 4th. So this feels, it was a winding road to get to a lot of this stuff, and people have had to twist themselves into pretzels to say these are the right things to do on our big show. With that said, I think there's a lot to like here, right? Everything from the third match on, I think there's hefty stakes that matter, or the first couple of matches past, the El Phantasmo Jake Lee match. There's enough intrigue to make it worthwhile that the stuff's on the card. So I think it's a good big show. I don't know that it's like a biggest show of the summer type show.
I think part of the reason why the perception would be it doesn't feel as special or whatever, it's really just a byproduct of most of their top stars over the past decade, like leaving, essentially. I think they're doing the best that they can with who they have right now. You know what I mean? And so when you speak apples to apples, the guys that are on top right now maybe are not in the same level of popularity that other stars were a few years ago, but they're on the same standing within the kayfabe of the company. So, I mean, this is a significant match. It's going to be a really great match. It's just they're rebuilding right now, so it doesn't feel as established because it's not.
And they're very clearly all in on Tsuji as the guy. They're not spreading that out for that generation. Like, Tsuji's the dude right now, and Yumura, Oiwa, Umino, essentially, like they all have to wait, and they'll have to wait for their time, and maybe their time is soon, maybe their time is in a long time, but Tsuji's the only guy that they're like sort of going with right now, which I don't think is the right path. I think you want to build them all up sort of in parallel lines, and then have them intersect in meaningful places, but that's not what they're doing. So Tsuji's the guy that's going to keep getting these shots, and he's over. The fans like him. I like him. I think he did a nice job, and has been doing a good job. I would like to see that spread out a little bit and just like rise the whole, right? Bring everyone up.
Yeah, I think on paper this is a very good card with the names that they have available. I think the thing that's going to make or break this card is the booking, especially with 3 House of Torture singles matches.
Sure.
How much shenanigans do we get? And then in the Newman match, does he lean into shenanigans as well? So yeah, and just kind of depending on some of the other winners and losers and kind of the overall direction. I think with the right calls on winners and the minimalization of House of Torture, this could end up being a very good card and something that could propel us into a very exciting G1 season.
And we will probably get G1 announcements, which is a nice bit of news usually. And, maybe something exciting out of that. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not expecting a whoa outsider, right? Mm-hmm. But I think we'll get some interesting stuff, and we'll probably get the blocks too. And hopefully those are interesting. I mean, everything from the 5th match on, and there are 9 matches on this. So the top 5 have either a House of Torture member or United Empire. So, and that makes some sense. Those are the big heel units, but they're stacked at the tail end of the card.
Yeah. Well, that's our Dominion preview. So we'll be back next week to review that. Josh, run us through the news real quick, and then I gotta wrap this thing up.
Yeah. So the only real big news announcement, New Japan is they announced a new collaborative project with Japanese Pod 101. And so they're going to be building like a library of videos and social content and helping people to learn Japanese through their fandom of like New Japan. So I don't really know exactly like what that interface or, how they're going to even set this up for, customers or whatever, but it is something that they're pursuing, and it might be beneficial to like English listeners to kind of learn some of the verbiage and language so they can connect with the product a little more.
Yeah, should be pretty cool.
And that's about it. That's all we got for the news. There was other stuff, but it just doesn't seem that important.
All right. And I know we had some other off-topic questions, but I need to wrap this show up and get us out of here. So, Chris, thanks again for joining us for the show. Go ahead and get your plugs in.
I don't have anything to plug right now, but I will. We'll do the G1 contest. I'm sure. I hope I'll be back for G1 preview on this very show. But I will, keep an eye on social media, Discords, etc. We like to make that reach far and wide. We already have a framework for our big G1 contest for sportofprowrestling.com. So that's where I'll be. But I'm sure you'll hear more about that later.
Awesome. Well, next we'll be back to review Dominion and cover all this news in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So remember, if you want to watch our show live or listen without ads, sign up at patreon.com/KI Strongstyle. You can also make a donation by visiting socialbooks.com/donate and clicking on the donate button under the Keeping It Strong Style logo. Make sure to connect with us on social media on X and Blue Sky. Follow us at KI Strongstyle, at Socialplex, at Jeremy L. Donovan, at YB_Josh and Liger. On Facebook, follow us at facebook.com/socialsuplex. On Reddit, on the Pro Black Guy, and Josh is Keeping It Strong Style. On YouTube, we are at Social Suplex. You can join our Social Suplex Discord server to interact with us and other wrestling fans. You can email me, Jeremy, at socialsuplex.com, and check out all the shows that we have here on the Social Suplex Podcast Network. One Nation Radio with Rich Latta and James Boyd. All Things Elite with Floyd and Austin. Imps AEW Adventure. Wrestling Art with Chris Slings. The AEW Match Guy with Sir Sam Brown. Tonal Talk with Ali, Ann, and Leah. The Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, and Joshing Around with Tim and Eric. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a rating and review. And we will catch you next week on Keeping It Strong Style, the ace of podcasts.
Ichiban.
Thank you for listening to Keepin' It Strong Style. We'll see you next time.